to take it all for yourself. But we shall see if they manage to do that successfully. For the moment, we're now dropping straight in onto YZG up against ASE. Mist grappling in, trying to take down a CXZ, but the parry comes through. Mist immediately sent flying. The Tessa ult is going to come in as well. The Fireflies coming into play already. It just shows the difference that can happen. Like, what can happen with Fireflies on the map? There's a Firefly in this area. There's only one. And if you land right on top of it, if you're playing something like Tessa, you're going to be able to get value immediately off the rip if you're contested.
Yeah, and you could see as well that that was exactly what they were planning when the initial engagement happened. YZG's Tessa was actually out of position, taking those Fireflies, and then came on through with that ultimate. A little bit later on is Kakashi, unfortunately, falling prey to another ultimate. That's IV2, just ripping through armor that is not present this early on. It doesn't matter if it's a gray-scaled weapon. Even if you don't have a weapon equipped, or when that ultimate begins, it will automatically give one over to you if you are that side. As SS charges up the RMB from those fist blades, then moves on through with that Tessa ultimate. Viper is going to come on out with the silence hitting on, and that is going to be an attempt of the Wuchen TP to be able to frame through that stun. OUG will be able to navigate around that CC, but they still have to worry about another Tessa ultimate left in the tank. This TXJ starts losing a lot of the health, but manages to pull off a parry. And YTG lacking the numbers. The reason now becomes apparent. They dropped a member a little bit out of this fight to be able to drop a Moonbeam directly on top of OUG's head. And now it's just a matter of trying to survive for that AoE to count.
Indeed it is, but are they going to be able to salvage this? It's not looking too good. It might be possible. YZG do use that teleport to disengage and get that resurrection off. But OUG, they have a plan. They're running directly over to where those Fireflies are sitting, waiting. You can see that OUG SS just picked one up. And as I said before, the Tessa, with only one Firefly, is already able to get that ultimate online, as the cost of casting it is only 60%. But sadly, they don't appear to have any grapple, so chasing these players down is not going to be easy. CXZ already heading over to this Celestra Temple, a very good kiting spot. It looks as though... Oh, he buys some grapples. Is he going to be able to chase him down? It looks as though they might go for this one. CXZ making it over to the buildings. He does have that fan. The scale rush mobility is going to come on through. It looks as though, actually, another Firefly, the routing coming out, the pathing coming out from YZG, TXJ now picking up another Firefly, is going to have that ultimate ready to go. The silence comes through onto Baby U. SS with that Tessa ultimate is going to hit quite... Oh, only one person, I believe. The CC is going to come on through, but Baby U is the target right now. YZG consolidating effort onto one person, and now the second, and it's all falling apart. YZG are going to take the cake here, and SS are going to go down. Tessa simply fighting to the last, but there's nothing that they can do. TXJ finishing it up. They are sitting on 6 eliminations already, Moxie.
Yeah, I mean, YZG, such a good pickup for this team, being able to grab up TXJ from the side of JL, long since regarded as one of, if not the best trios player in the scene of Naraka esports. Very, very good at commanding his team, very, very good at figuring out fight plans while on the move, and you could see how clean, how organized that team were. They knew exactly what they wanted to do. They knew their win condition to be able to get that ultimate online and then come on through with that Viper V3, just being able to absolutely dismantle anything that OUG had planned. As now that we've had the initial couple of scraps and those Fireflies have been taken off the table, things are going to quiet down somewhat, as we had so many Viper, Tessa, Wuchen composition teams coming on through, that if a fight began, it was going to get third-partied, and that would in turn make the scrap last even longer, which is why we're seeing SR on the board with 3, YGG on the board with 6. A lot of these teams, in fact, very few of them, GG, ASC, and OA being the only teams currently in this lobby without a single elimination, which is kind of what we expected with how aggressive a start to the day it was going to be.
Absolutely. You want to hit the ground running here, as you know, the closer to the MVP, the closer to the match point you get, the the sooner you have the opportunity to take the cake for yourself. But we shall see going forwards. As you said, after that initial fight takes place with these Fireflies being involved, it does slow down. And I imagine that a lot of these players are going to try and set up for Realm of Yang, especially those Tianhai compositions. And these Viper comps are likely going to try and set up for a potential Yang Grief or some kind of assassination attempt. I would like to note, it looks as though WBG has fully lost a member. Tessa has gone down completely, and they themselves are probably going to have to try and salvage by accumulating some cash, some Dark Tide coins, so that they can buy their Tessa back before you know everything explodes again. They want to be involved, they want to be there and able to pick up some eliminations. YZG on 6 is already a very good start, but can they keep it going? SR with 3. Is this the beginning? Is this the beginning, Moxie, of the snowball rolling down the hill? SR could take it all early. I'm excited to see if they can, because the other day, you know, 100 points is mental. I thought that they weren't gonna get that because there was a team, I would believe, was it WBG, who got 80 something? I was thinking when that happened that was pretty enormous, but no, you know, SR had to show him up with 100 plus, absolutely massive. But this is how we're going to be taking a fight here. YZG up against GG330 up against the wall. The buttery rocks making it very difficult to move. Forced to use that combo breaker, no ultimate available, but TXJ's already been taken down. The Soul Bloom going to come in clutch and keep him alive. YZG having an excellent start has now been cut down at the heels, the ankles. They got him chopped down.
I mean,
it's not good.
That was needed as well for GG, because now they actually left all of the Soul Blooms to 3-3-0. You saw him there just managing to, with those tab dodges, get on top of every single body that was dropped. So if the fight started going south, or because it was just outside of Celestra, which is one of those places on the map that sees a hive of activity, a team tried to come on through in third party, then they had that Tianhai transformation in case it was something like another Viper team rolling up into the mix, so that when the ultimate comes through, you can iframe out of the tether snap with the activation of the Tianhai ultimate. They didn't have to use it though, and now they're going to be absolutely ready with all of the purple armor sets that they need to give that Tianhai that tankiness to be able to go toe-to-toe with whoever they run into inside the Realm of Yang. I want to see who SR are going to be matching up inside the Realm of Yang with, because they've got both the Farrier and the Yoto and the Justina, which is absolute grief central for any poor Tianhai player who wants to be able to commit a grab.
Yeah, that's not fun. I played a little bit of Monk the other day in trios. It's not enjoyable going up against this kind of composition. It is just full counter. It absolutely cooks you. You know, the Farrier, you know, pew pew, just like, no, you cannot slam, bro. The Justina dash through, you're frozen. You're a very cold-footed monk. You know, it's not fun. It is not fun at all. But we're going to be going into this Realm of Yang. What do we have here? TE going up against GG with those double purple armors. TE only having the one on Jianan on that monk. Are we going to get the boxing match, Moxie? Let's see it. The ult coming on through. Jianan beating him to the punch just a little bit, but are they gonna be able to take advantage of this little hop and skip interaction? Oh, the slam! Oh, the rock paper scissors. Dude, which one do they choose? Oh, he gets the slam.
Who gets the grab though? Yeah, LXM now stuck inside that grab. Peripheral is forced to just try and keep Jianan staggered out so that he can't complete the grab onto his zipping. Who inside that mug would not be able to throw out those apps and keep the players topped up. Peripheral is able to grab out TE, but unfortunately Peak just gets out of the hand as that activation of the ultimate ends and is able to throw out that F for Youth to come on through. And the Kylan dashes are ready, they're set, they're going off from both of these teams, trying to find the eliminations onto these zippings. But that ultimate is about to burn out from the side of TE and GG. And now we go back into that neutral. 1-2, charge up into a potential Dragon Slayers, will not be able to commit it. Good climb comes tonight, better parry from CJS as well, takes the weapon out of Youth's hands, and now with the activation of the F2, manages to find that knockback, but still, both of these players refusing to drop a single member. We could well see a timeout.
They could actually go for it. I don't know, the LMB into the uppercut, into the grapple combo, but the F coming through, keeping Youth alive, keeping him youthful. Looks as though CJS consolidated onto that one target, but his teammates go down in the background. Now he's got 20 seconds left on the clock. He needs to try and make something happen. CJS with a hold check. The match from the nunchucks. Nothing he can do. The clank getting pushed back and taken down, shredded by these dual halberds. Very unfortunate that Youth didn't go down there. If Youth had gone down, if Peak hadn't gotten that F off, it could have been a different story.
T had better soul jades as well, even though GG were coming in with better armor. T had much better soul jades. They had like 6 purple epics in comparison to GG, who I believe only had the one on as if it was either group or advanced deal. As we now get to see OA going head to head against Biden. Dinnerbell has been rung. Who's going to be served up in a silver platter? It's not going to be PP. He's able to navigate out of the follow-up damage with the utilization of that F1 coming in through from the Syra. But now that's going to be on cooldown for the next 10 seconds, so PP is going to have to accommodate his gameplay, making sure that he's not going to be going too aggressive and getting punished for a lack of punishment. Coming on out with that Matari ultimate, though, gets that refresh, looks for the longsword, doesn't manage to find the extension because now the other Syra is going to invest their F1 and try and slide out of that no ult zone and get into a position of potentially being able to pull on through with that laser beam, but Jing gets parried, goes down to the follow-up. PP with a lovely dodge around the Tessa ulti too, then gets to provide that F1, goes vertical to be able to find the drop down, but he gets dropped in the back by DRG coming in of the third party. They notice the Forbidden Seal activation and they clean the table instead.
They certainly do. It's exactly why you called it so rightly the dinner bell. Ding, ding, ding. This giant dome spawning in on the map is very easy to see from far away and just attracts the attention of that third party. But thankfully, with that red buff, they aren't going to be going down fully just yet. They're going to be able to salvage the situation. Now we've got a fight coming through between SR and JL Zhao with that Yoto ultimate coming after XX1. I'm kind of unsure how to say this guy's name. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to pronounce this one, but do you have any idea? I actually don't know. Joe? I genuinely don't know. I'm gonna try and I'm gonna figure it out eventually, but we'll have to see. For the moment, they're still scrapping it out. Zhao in that Yoto, having not really gotten much from that Yoto ultimate, trying to salvage it. TE Youth going down in the kill feed, by the way, to DRG. Zhuo goes down. Zhuan, so many X's. SS1 coming in for that third party. SR trying to disengage Zhao. 1 HP in a dream. It's turning into a nightmare. He's going down regardless. SS1 with the perfect timing on this third party.
Yeah, and SR unfortunately not having the perfect start to the day that they were looking for. They lost that round of Yang fight. Being hit with Yang depletion, this is a really heavy investment of a composition for them. The Yodo, the Justina, the Farrier, all of those ultimates are all in ultimates as Rico on the ground gets done in by the R&B coming through from that pole sword. And we cut over to look at GG going head-to-head against ASC as LXM is keeping CJS up. These Kylan dashes with the aid of that zipping, just getting to come on through and find so much disruption onto these players. The Spear Stagger setting up into the follow-through of the fan R&Bs as well. And GG are just moving meticulously through from player to player. From the side of ASE, one staggers, the other finds the focus hit, and there's nothing that ASE can do under that absolute perfect play.
Very nice to see this this is what you need to be doing in your trio ranked games, ladies and gentlemen. One person, designated light attacker, the next designated focus release, the next dedicated parrier, this kind of just leave no option for your opponent and you will just absolutely cook them. In the 2v1, the 3v1, whatever it might be, you want to be able to give your opponent no option of success. That is how you win. That's how you get those kills. And that's how you absolutely dismantle teams, It's if they get caught slacking, they cannot do anything about it. But you know who's not slacking? WBG and YZG. They're trying to contest the Spirit Well year round with the Grapple LMB, a little bit of Clank, a little bit of Stone Form. Are we actually going to fully consolidate and commit onto this fight? Because this is a little bit dangerous. We have the Realm of Yang close by. Surprised that that's still actually a spot available. Are they just trying to take this fight, see if they can win, and then go in afterwards, or what's going on? The Viper ultimate, the Tessa ult?
They're on mirror comps. Both of these teams are Viper, Tessa, Wu-Chan. They both rolled up to the space thinking that they'd be able to go for an assassination play, or someone either trying to come for Spirit Well, or someone going for Realm of Yang, and they found each other instead. So ultimate's committed, Wu-Chan teleports then navigated to escape out of it. Both teams go their separate ways before they get punished by another team rolling up for that third party. Is now we head inside the Realm of Yang. TE going head-to-head against SS1. This is not a mirror composition, so Xiaonan doesn't have to worry about another Tianhai interrupting, but he does have to worry about these pillars. This gruesome experience for a Tianhai player. Everyone just hides and breaks LOS from the monk, so in goes Youth. Bouncer for the team. Having to, with this Kyle and ultimate, chase these players away from the pillars and potentially set up for a grab, but so far Xiaonan has nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Face me! Show yourself! Unfortunately, not able to get any of those grabs. Breaking line of sight. SS1 doing an excellent job of kiting this out. Xuan now taking down extremely low, though. This is a little bit dangerous. No HP. He's going to try and disengage. Oh! Gets cut down, gets prevented from dashing away by that player jumping in front. The Flamebringer coming through, and there it is! He's down for the count. Juan is dead. TE are in advantage, but Peak is going to be going down as well. Now going over to a 2 versus 2. It could be a 2 versus 1 very quickly. Water goes down. So much HP on the side of Zhao Nan. He's standing tall. He's not getting focused whatsoever, and he's still very healthy at the end, able to clutch it up for the team. TE picking up that golden armor and another golden weapon. Very, very scaled up. This is looking very good for TE.
Yeah, TE, that even though Xiaonan's ultimate didn't find the grabs that it was looking for, it took so much space away from SS1. And the Syro actually from SS1 popped the ultimate too. So when we got to see SS1 try to come through and salvage the situation with that Zai doesn't get damage reduction on any hits of her ultimate. So she is not tanky at all. Unlike some of the other heroes in the Naraka pool. It's why she gets paired so frequently with the Kurumi, because the F3 would be able to provide that damage reduction and alleviate one of Zai's main weaknesses. So even though everyone on the side of TE doesn't have ultimates currently active, because they have that Flamebringer and they can just absolutely melt the Zai's HP down through that and all of the hits coming in through from just base weaponry. The Syra, without that ultimate, didn't have the means of being able to burst heal everyone back up to full, so things just fell apart. As TE now, like we said, incredibly scaled up currently. They do have that legendary armor. We saw it first picked up from Youth. It's been ferried now over to the side of Xiaonan, so that when he goes for his ultimate, it scales up the HP. Bar that the monk is going to have active, as Youth is also going to be holding on to those legendary fist plates, because Kylan, his weapon attack damage scales off of the weapon that he has when the ultimate is activated. Is GG also currently on a patrol path. They don't have a buff, however, though, so they haven't recently won a Realm of Yang. They're just looking to see whether or not they can spot out some of these teams who are a little bit behind. They might be down one of their players, they might have Yang depletion, and they're going for that sort of turnaround play where you just send someone to die to the zone so that it counts as them being eliminated, and then you can buy them back with a rebuff charm, as opposed to having to go hunting and potentially get full squad wiped because you rolled into the wrong team at the wrong time.
That is definitely a viable strategy. We'll have to see if they're gonna go for this one. DRG seem to be vibing, rotating around the map. Not the best loot, unfortunately, but this is the kind of composition that can get away with that, especially on the Wu Chen. If you're giving your Wu Chen anything, you want to be giving him all the range Js and the range weapons, as he typically is going to be sitting back and trying not to get focused in position 1. But it looks as though Dong Xing is going to get ran down. The meteor coming through from Zhuan going to be locking him up. The Tesla ultimate, wait, the assassination, the turnaround, but no, the Matari ultimate is going to come through and deny that Viper ult pressure completely. V1 absolutely mitigated, nothing that they could do to fight back here. SS1, very good presence of mind to have this finger on the trigger, make sure that Matari does not get silenced, does not get prevented from using that ultimate. And now SS1 have essentially fully salvaged the situation. And as you said before,
one player. WX98 was not in the fight, so he's gonna try and get closer. Oh, this is so risky. Is he gonna go for, yeah, okay. Close up the distance, gets close enough to bring back Kakashi. Unfortunately, goes into the zone to be able to do so. And that zone is gonna be starting to hurt the second that Kakashi gets brought up. Potentially, he goes down before he can even get back into safety. And even then, they're not gonna be out of the woods yet because so many of these teams are just waiting to figure out whether or not this Wu-Chen is gonna pop up somewhere else on Celestra. We've got one Vitality left. That heal cut reduction is going to kick in just now. There it goes. The VX98 does have the dual blade, so he can move very, very quickly. Goes for the skirmish into the safety, but he gets spotted out. And now he has to split away from his teammate in the hopes that they can try and escape the focus that came from. No way, SS1 went directly past him. Did they not see DRG take cover inside this building?
I don't think they did. This is actually... Ooh, wait a minute. Do they get spotted? He does indeed. Kakashi in the corner, nowhere to go. And SS1 are going to be able... Oh, wait a second. No, they're not. They are not actually going to be able to do this. Water still lacking that soul bloom, needs to find one before too long. Otherwise, he's going to be going down to that Yang depletion. But are they going to be able to salvage the situation? WBG coming in with that Viper ultimate, disrupting everything. SS1 Zhuan going very low. Is he going to be able to disengage? He's trying to continue fighting. The meteor coming through. Jing getting knocked up, and now the Wu-Chen teleport coming through to save them. But OUG going to pick up where they left off and absolutely mob this team. Nowhere to go. The light attacks non-stop, leaving no opener, and Water goes down absolutely shredded by these third parties. And now Zhuan looking cooked for SS1, unfortunately. They were doing so well, but they've been cut down, I believe. I don't think there's any way to come back from this one.
No, the Tesla ultimate is going to be invested. A lot of those players getting tethered, so that enchantment is going to kick off. We can hear it snapping out just now, but Zhuan does get taken out. It's not going to be GG that claim it. It's going to be YZG. And unfortunately, you saw like SS1, it looked like they were able to recover from the Yang depletion, but they had one player get griefed out by DRG's Wu-Chen, who, by the way, still alive. Somehow, WX98 has made out like a bandit and absolutely heisted his team to a potential higher ranking point, which would make that 8 kills that they've got currently incredibly valuable if we were still playing to the previous rule set of teams with ranking getting a multiplier, not just the last team standing. As OA going to be going for that ballista, just trying to see whether or not they can catch a team a little bit late on those rotations, and WVG have been spotted out. Thankfully for this team, they do have the Wu-Chen, so those walls will be able to block that range damage coming on through. That is going to be one cooldown invested, and WVG are about to get kited directly into the path of multiple teams. When there are this many players in such a little space, the last place you want to be is directly in the middle of everyone, because you're the target everyone's going to turn on to.
Yeah, you do not want to be sandwiched. You want to have, you know, you want to have somewhere to go. You cannot have people on all sides of you. Otherwise, you are just asking to get ganged up on. You're gonna get ganked. It's gonna be very rough to get out of that situation. Unless, of course, you're running something that can, you know, I mean, Wu-Chen could potentially get you out of there, but it is still very dangerous, especially after the Wu-Chen nerf that came through quite a while ago now. So I think that if you think about it, it's been a while since they nerfed him, where the beam in the sky reveals where you teleport yourself and your team to.
And the less distance as well.
Yeah, less distance.
You got back-to-back nerfed. They were like, signal flare the location that you land and cut the distance that you can go. I mean, even then, if you know where you're going, like there's so little space. If you're teleporting, chances are you're already teleporting into somewhere that's occupied. GG are going to show how you hold down this space at these moments in the game, and actually show with Soldier that no one really wants to try and contest. Aurora Burst being one of them. We call them the Soldiers of Destiny. That's things like Dreadful Whale, Merciless Havoc, which we're yet to see currently. We know that Jinyan has Cavalry Bloom as well on those dual blades, so not legendary rarity, but still very, very damaging, as now it becomes all hands on deck. Yeah. For the Spirit Well, and this is so strange. It's the Viper Tessa Wuchen composition that are actually able to try and put themselves into position to first take this fight. However, as we've seen in the past, being in position 1 for that Spirit Well doesn't always mean that you're going to be able to continue to hold on to possession of it, as OA invests PP's V1 to absolutely laser beam everybody, and with that threat of Stun Dazzle, everyone takes a step backwards until the Syra ultimate is through before the positions change again and YZG slide back into where they just abandoned.
Are they going to be able to keep hold of it though? The timer comes down and there it is. TXJ with that Viper ultimate, preventing any of these players from getting too close without risking just immediately getting taken down. And they're going to be able to secure that Draco buff. Draco Storm at this point in the game is very ugly. It's gonna be very hard to deal with. TXJ on the Viper looking for an entry. He's scouting, he's trying to find what he may have just done. So OA men getting locked up by the Tessa ultimate, but getting sent back, and also with that Matari stealth gonna prevent him from being focused down immediately. But oh, the silence. The jump into the silence, into the focus slide as well from TXJ. They're being fended off, but are they going to be able to fend it off successfully? CXZ goes down, though, out of nowhere. YZG in the driver's seat. They're immediately getting stopped by the police. The Zai's coming in with the Meteor. TXJ, your Draco Storm was supposed to help you, but it looks as though it put a target on your back, and they fall apart.
TXJ got a little bit too close to the edge of that zone, and OA, like, Tutik saw his opportunity and took it perfectly. That comic connection battered the Viper into that zone tick, so the tick of damage that you took was more than enough for the Viper to get taken down when OA collapsed on top of them. Now, with one of the main threats from the lobby removed, these Monk players get so much more confident. There are still trees currently in play, and we do still have 1 and 2 full Viper compositions. WBG and OUG going to be trying to hold on to those spaces so they can look for the drop-down ultimate. But GG and TE now have to just try and outlast each other, as Bide are going to be lacking that Matari, not going to be able to utilize the ultimate to stealth themselves through this Viper. 3-3-0 is the target of focus, but he's able to find a rock before the Viper stun can find him, and he doesn't have to burn his ultimate.
That's insane that he's alive. What on earth? Is it possible he has Phantom Step? Because that is crazy if he managed to break line of sight there. But oh my goodness, the purple spider is out. What on earth was that? So many tethers going everywhere. Baby, you getting slammed by 3-3-0, knocked off the rock, and immediately grabbed up, sent back into the zone. But the combo break is going to get utilized, throwing down those wind walls. Just cutting this line of sight for the Monk. But oh, wait a minute, there it is! The double grab! Boom! He goes down. XEM down for the count. 3-3-0, still throwing hands, trying to find something, but not able to do so before that ultimate expires. The enemy Monk as well in a similar situation. He did get a grab, but not able to slam. 3-3-0 now with the cannon, trying to send out those cannon shots and regenerate that ultimate as soon as possible. TE Youth getting knocked into the zone. Peak going down. Xiao Nan is still alive, but is he going to be there for long? He's a Monk without ultimate. WBG backed up into a corner here. Leo gets taken down, shredded, absolutely eviscerated by Tutik, and this Zai ultimate, the gold weapon damage, doing so much. But GG, we have the Monk ult and we have the Kylan ult online right now, Moxie. Who's taking the cake right now? Because GG's looking pretty solid.
They've got the Z multi, they've got the monk ult, here it comes. Furry looks for the scoop, already finds one player. The last couple of dashes from CGS's ultimate, also able to find this connection onto him. Slams one into that zone, tries to chase onto OA's 2-tick, manages to whip the jump as well. Platform always other players into that zone, gets a grab onto 2-tick, gets the pummel, gets covered by the Aurora Burst as well, so OA unable to utilize any of their abilities to try and keep this TN high down. The ultimate has one off. OA make that final attempt of a play, and it is a late game Syra ultimate. Can PP with his V1 outlive absolutely everybody? They're all clumped up directly underneath him. Those stun dashes connecting onto so many players. You've also goes for a Hail Mary of a Kylan ultimate to utilize that invulnerability to try and outlast PP. He goes lower and lower, and it's a draw. No team gets the kill score multiplier.
That is rough. Unfortunate to say the least. No multiplier, but it doesn't matter. We are going to see the MVP coming through from OA. Is this the OA story, Moxie? Yep. But it's still solid. You know, it lasts maybe, like, I think it's 3 seconds now or something.
Yes.
It's still a decent amount of time, but the value in this ability is not only in, like, its duration. It's in its ability to extend and accelerate tempo. Because if you and your teammates are just sort of attacking someone and you throw it down, there is nothing they can do. They can't hit you back. So they just have to tank it and hope for the best. So it is actually a really useful tempo tool. It's not the sort of the F2 reactivation. It's not the same as that, because that is oogly. But you know, it's still extremely solid, absolutely. But back to the actual action, Moxie. Bowder coming in for this third party on the ASE. The Tessa ultimate going out. The meter burn, the biting fury gets dumped, and Jing gets absolutely obliterated out of nowhere.
Yeah, target focus for me as all three players were on top of that Tessa, and the moment she was swept up into the air. And now we can see that Powder Gem is just hiding, thinking stealthy thoughts. This Viper gets another the F into the extension from the horizontal into uppercut grapple kick, and that is going to be ASE's missed. Able to come on through off of a bow hot swap as well when Zen was in flop state. As now we can look at YZG versus SR. TXJ gets caught out in that air. Does still have the bell for that F1, is going to utilize it now to just try and cover for his players. Looks for the parry at the same time as CXC throws out that focus. And this is what we were talking about, right? One goes for the parry fish, the other goes for the focus to try and force out a clank. And TXJ now is free to go for his ultimate, looking to try and find these grabs onto the players from SR. Picks up Rico, holds him, punts him into that placement, and OUG with the fan, not able to actually chase him down with the R&B from the vertical, and everybody from SR just managing to put themselves onto verticality that TXJ can't quite parkour around. Jun actually gets a tether for the damage reduction to come on through, so he has the confidence to try and body some of this damage, and now that TXJ is outside of his ultimate, he's vulnerable. SR striking on back, but OUG noticed all of this commotion and dive on in with Baby U Syra V1 absolutely beaming every single player.
It's all you hear right now. That's what Rico hears. Get me out! He just goes down. A very unfortunate situation to get third-partied here. It is one of those weird spots that if you commit to a fight down there, it's both very difficult to disengage and also somewhat easy because of that giant central pillar that they were using so well against that monk. And he was just come back. He's trying his best to grab one, but it's not going to happen. But at the same time, if you get stuck down there, it can be really, really rough. If there are enough teams sandwiching you in, it is inescapable. Especially, you know, I don't know, with the Syra, like, what do you do? Speaking of, Cuckoo 2 going down here, the Viper stun coming in, making it an impossible situation. But Han, he's getting juggled out of the air. The LMB on the staff, tech chasing him. We need to figure out how to say this guy's name. Gio XX1, that's what I'm calling him. XX1 XX1, they're getting chased down by ASE, the engraving coming through as well, the bonk from the RMB cutting him down, unfortunately not able to disengage. He's going out into the open where there's nothing to kite behind. Perhaps he just accepted his fate at that point. But SS1 coming in with his third party. Zwan with that silence, with the Moonbane to answer the third party. Zwan with that V1, with that ultimate. They're trying to hide in the bush. Get out of there. Coming out of the bush. They too take one down. Xiaowen gets eliminated for the moment. SS1, they're happy with that takedown. They get the Tesla Stun onto Mist. Oh, are they going to be able to salvage it? No. I think they might come back.
Maybe,
they might heal and come back.
OUG just rolled into the mix. Like, OUG, they third-partied the SR fight. Now they've seen the Bane's Breath. They were in the area just outside of Imperium. So they can now come on through and try and go for this third party. ASE trying to take cover currently in that Bane's Breath while having both of these players stick that revive. So it is going to be healed up in double speed. But now they're directly caught between the crosshairs of OUG and SS1. And OUG have ultimates. Granted, ASC also have ultimates built up. Zhao Wen was doing such a good job too, getting those freeze dashes onto that Tianhai when he was looking to try and grab Han out of that Syra V1. And off of the back of that Bane's Breath, I think actually that ASC, because of how long it lasted, and all of those teams being in that space just a little bit too long for comfort, everyone moved on and decided to path off into separate directions.
Yeah, I think as soon as they all realized that they weren't going to be able to deny that res, and they weren't going to be able to deny the full heal, the full reset, there wasn't a worthwhile fight to take. Because if you go in and immediately engage, then the other team that was close by is just going to come in third party. And if it doesn't go perfectly for you at the very beginning of the fight, then you're just asking to get lobbied by everybody in the area. So it's a very, very like difficult choice to make at times, because you're like, I want to go in. No.
True, but like OUG as well, they couldn't really go for it because they're running a full commitment comp, right? Like when you have the Zai and the Matari, both of those two heroes have to ult at the same time for you to get full value, because that's how you get your free resets on that Zai F2. So it opens yourself up even more for that third party potential that we were just talking about. It's why Zai and Matari do so well inside Realm of Yang, because you can go for that commitment style of play. As everybody pops Forbidden Seal, everyone was actually drawn to this location because of those floating piles coming on through, which when you're playing a Padoria at night also contain a Firefly. Not that you're going to be able to use it because you're playing inside a Forbidden Seal, but what you can utilize is all of that tasty loot found inside those troves. Every single team was looking for an instant upgrade before they headed into that first realm of Yang, which is going to be starting to spawn up now.
Very tasty. A floating pile, it's like a limited, it's like a food truck that just comes to your street. You know, give me some of that. They're coming in trying to get it. I think it's probably one of the coolest aspects of Padoria. It's when I remember when Padoria came out, that it was like, oh, they spawned randomly around the game. Cool. Because it has a very big impact on competitive play as well. You know, some people are like, yeah, cool, nice, but it then thought that it didn't really mean anything, but it does, because in those situations, let's say you go down just before your reses run out, and you get your extra life, and you're like, okay, where do we go? Well, there's already been about 5 minutes of the game going, so there's not very much loot left over in these high tier loot areas, but these floating piles spawn at specific points in the game, so it's not like if you know the timings of these, right? Then you're able to go, plan ahead, and expect that one will spawn in either this area or this area, and be there when it does, and immediately be able to pick up potentially a bunch of loot. I've had a lot of stuff drop from them, but at the same time, I've had absolutely nothing drop from them. No, 0 armors and blue crossbows. Like, what is this?
Oh.
I expected a purple armor at least, please. Come on.
I was gonna say, I think I've always got purple and legendary.
Yeah, I mean, but you're a luck box. You get everything. It's just
let's see who gets inside a realm of Yang.
It's a skill issue, I guess. You know, like...
It is gonna be ASE with the Viper adjusting a Syra composition. Going to be going inside a realm of Yang fight up against YZG. So YCG, still a couple of blue armors for them, definitely outmatched in terms of those armors. up against their opponents who are already rocking 2 purples, but it's really going to be about whether they can dodge out of all of the CC connections. If you get hit by one CC, it's going to be followed up by another. That's the first dash dropping down into the R&B from those halberds. These players trying to split away, but if they go behind the pillars and dodge away from the Viper ultimate, Zhao went on this Justina, can chase them down. Han's already been able to find the stagger 2 on that Tian high, and ASC are committing a lot of these ultimates. They need to win the fight before these are done. Otherwise, we get reset right back into neutral when YZG have an advantage in terms of overall sustainable as a pin.
Is this winnable? The Monk getting very, very low. TXJ coming out of that ultimate does have a bit of armor to work with, but very little HP. If they have any fire damage, he is cooked. He's smoldering, but no, it doesn't look as though there is. They're just going to draw it out. Is this 3 versus 1 situation? There's no need to really rush anything, as that buff is going to last a little bit longer into the game. If you do, just wait that little bit longer. Also, something I would like to note, I'm pretty sure that what I'm about to say, a lot of people aren't really sure what the reality is. But so before, when you took the buff, when you picked up the buff from the box, it affected when it would start. So if you pick up the buff from the box, right, the buff starts from that point, or at least it used to. So people would wait until the very end, the last second, to pick it up. And then I distinctly remember Naraka saying that they were removing that, and that it would simply give you the buff, or the buff timer would start the moment you win the Yang. But then I don't know what happened, but I am absolutely certain now that that's not the case, and it's back to how it used to be. It's back to, if you wait until the last second, you're able to have the buff for that little bit longer, essentially. So I wanted to put that to rest and to essentially say, everybody, wait until the last second of Yang before picking up your buff, because you will get that little bit longer. It's worth it sometimes. It really is. Two seconds doesn't seem like much, but it makes the difference sometimes. You know, you die 2 seconds after your buff runs out, you are going to be kicking yourself. But back to the game, ASE, OA, all in relatively close to each other. GG as well in this cave. Probably one of the most grief caves that exists, I have to say. It is just, the fire cage is there. You know, it's rough in there sometimes. Imagine a Kylan, a Siren, and a Zai all walking to that cave. Sounds like the beginning of a joke.
Sounds like a very bad joke with a horrible
it's a nightmare.
Unfortunately for SR as well, they had a little bit of a nightmare. The reason why we didn't cut to another Yang fight, it looks like, was because everyone else was finished. SR, it seems, were only able to get 2 of the players in. That Cicada, that carry with the burst damage, was not able to make inside a realm of Yang. And now it's going to be ASC going head-to-head against DRG. That Viper stun setting up for all of the forward through damage. Zhao just so on target with these Justina dashes, catching onto Kakaishi before he can look for the grabs on this Monk. He's been able to find one, looks for a potential double, but the third party is here, and Youth now is getting frozen out. Another Viper ultimate comes on through, followed up by a third party from Bowder, throwing in a Tessa ultimate. Everything, including the kitchen sink, is currently being chucked into this fight. One team already decides that they've had enough, and Wuchen teleports out. Meng getting blitzed down. Can he find the Ojo ultimate? Yes, he can! Gets full healed up off of his Soul Jade to be able to live because of that elimination coming through.
Oh, amen. Can he live? Yes, he can. He's out of there.
No, he can't. He gets run down by the side.
Oh, no. He cannot live. He cannot fix it, unfortunately. But we're now taking a look over here. YZG chasing after WPG. This is a lot of open space right now. Jing with that dagger LMB. Oh, the parry beautifully done by TXJ. Immediately not getting knocked away. But another one, Year Run, getting absolutely cooked. But he gets up, gets that Tessa ultimate, another parry coming in from CXZ. Jing tries to crouch underneath that focus, but doesn't recognize that the terrain is not in his favor and actually gets clipped, not able to parry. Jing now getting caught by this dagger. The tech chase is painful. But the Wu Chen coming in with that shield, gonna be able to top up his teammate Jing. Now going for that health heal before re-engaging in this fight. YZG It's looking rough. The CXZ gonna be going down in the zone. Zing, you know, there's not very much that can be done at this point. The crossbow, you know, it's over for him, unfortunately. There is nothing. It's an unwinnable situation. And again, this is what I talked about earlier. Create unwinnable situations for your opponents. That is how you win. But it's not always possible. Regardless, it's looking pretty rough for OG Jin Yu, I believe, with the still Yang depletion. Is he going to be able to salvage this? 10 seconds remaining. 8, 7, 6, 5. No, he's going quietly into the night.
Yeah. Into the night he goes before he gives away an elimination to another team. OG's baby, you're going to be coming through with that Syra V1 stun dazzle onto Bactus Ching, and then just floats away, lets the zone absolutely chunk that health bar down. Baby, you tries to hide. He knows his ultimate is going to be down in a couple of months. He's also just trying to live currently. He's the last player standing for his team right now, goes into that lava as well. So if you didn't activate that one, you're going to be starting to tick through. If you stand in it a little bit too long, double jumps over the staff pitter patter, comes out with that F1, gets a little bit of a heal. Look for the jump vertical onto June. Wasn't able to find it, but was able to offer the back of the heal that came through from that Syra F1. Live long enough that the zone damage did his opponent in regardless. And off of the back of that one, OUG will be able to survive a little bit longer, but unfortunately not long enough. He had no Vitalia to his name, and he gets taken down as this is an incredibly aggressive lobby. We've got a second realm of Yang spawning in Dunk, and the fights aren't even occurring where the portal is.
Yeah, they're just not, it's not slowing down right now. It is match point today. Everybody knows it. They are full speed ahead, but here we are in the realm of Yang. GG 330 in that beam form, the Syra ultimate. CJS taking the brunt of damage from the enemy Syra as well. We've got the mirror matchup going on. Xiao Nan in the back, healing up just that little bit. Oh, CJS taking a little bit of damage. He's still kicking though. He's still blending. That Zai ultimate is going to be expiring relatively soon, as has 330 Syra ultimate. Jiaonan on the other side, eating a lot of chip damage from 330. The fan doing work here. The grapple LMB absolutely cutting him. Youth down for the count, and now it's over. GG. Calm and collected, able to win this realm of Yang for themselves and all but secure a massive endgame.
Oh, I mean, 330 just playing that position very perfectly with that fan, waiting for those other players to be sent up either by an uppercut coming on through from that spear, and then sending in the RMB at the tail end off of that fan, because he knows that they can't get priority. You have to be so careful now if you play that position free and you're looking to hit in with either fan RMBs or longsword verticals coming on through, because they changed parry. It used to be forward facing only, but now it's 360 coverage. So if you give them a moment, they will be able to take an absolute mile when it comes to being able to drop that weapon from your hands. The Steel's one Fang, unfortunately, not going to be going into that Heavenly Arm. Has to utilize the F1 in the air too, which leaves him on all of the damage coming through when he's mid-air from that Draco Storm out of the side of Chi-Chi.
Poor guy, he didn't get to touch the floor. You think your F is gonna save you, boy? No, just immediately slide uppercut it out of the air.
That is not going to be a 5-star review left from the side of JL on that one.
That was rough, to say the least. Thankfully, his teammates are still alive, and the Draco Storm, you know, they're not looking to stick around and deny the res. They're probably going to be able to resurrect this Tianhai one way or another, as the Draco Storm is heading on out. But we're taking a look at SS1 and OA. OA do seem as though they can potentially fend this off. Oh, the big damage coming through. The double silence as well from the F2 Ferrier. Massive. The freeze again. He dodges the Tessa ultimate. The presence of mind here. Beautifully executed. SS1 now responding with this Viper ultimate. I-framed by getting into the mech. Perfectly timed. And the other two make away. And now the Wu Chen ult is forced to respond. SS1 Water going to be the target immediately, holding, trying to deny the pressure. But no, his teammate coming in for the PL2-Tick, getting caught by that Tessa ultimate. The Farrier Blast coming through and taking down this Wu-Chen. 2-Tick trying to disengage, trying to get behind the wall. The F3 from the Yoto, beautifully placed there to protect his teammate. That's what I'm talking about. That's team play right there. Beautifully done.
You know what was so funny? That entire time all of those ultimates were being traded, Kylan from JL is under the Mercury River.
Wait,
and set something
really?
up that set something
I didn't see it. I was too focused on everything else.
It was just there on the right side. You could see the health bar floating above the river. But obviously, because he's under the water, you see the air bubbles pop up. But in like the midst of that fight, no one knew that he was there. So he's able to organize that third party. And then off of the elimination that they find, they got enough Darktide coins to hop over to a Rift Healers, pick up a Rebirth Charm, and buy the Tianhai back into the lobby.
That's actually hilarious. He's just sitting there biding his time. Blub, blub, blub. What on earth? What's going on today, Moxie? What's happening? But SS1 seem to have picked up a Rebirth Charm. They're going to be reviving one of their teammates. SS1 with only one elimination so far. Not the best look. But you know what's crazy? Is that ASE, they were gaming. They had 12 kills, and they're fully out now. It's just, is this what happens? You know, you're the kill leader on the leaderboard for the lobby, and then you die in mid-game. It happened with SS1 last game, and it happens again this game. Perhaps you just need to not get kills early if you want to do it. That doesn't seem to make very much sense, but, you know, it's the curse, perhaps, if you're superstitious enough to believe that. TE over here, trying to engage onto WBG. They do have 2 gang depletions. The gets taken down. They take the armor off. I'm not sure if they managed to do it in time. TE's Peak still trying to chase him down. The Wu-Chen ultimate not taking them very far, healing up his teammate. Run is going to get picked clean here. The third party from GG. Oh no, Youth. Oh, what's going on? The juggles today. People are not being allowed to play the game. This is insane.
Yeah, it's crazy because DRG also third-partied in on another fight going off. That's the problem with the Wu-Chen teleport. We talked about it in the game previously. Whenever you use that teleport, boom, blue beam up in the sky gives away your positioners. JL take advantage of all of the fighting going on around them to cement their position at the Spirit Wall, and because they're now so entrenched, if anybody tries to come close to them, they're going to see that it's a Tianhai team, that they've got this little bubble, this dome of safety, which blocks all range damage coming on through, so it doesn't punish a lack of something like a Karumi or a Temi to be able to play pocket to your Tianhai if the ultimate has to be committed. It is perfect camping grounds for a Tianhai team to be able to sit in that space, and since everybody knows that that Spirit Wall is about to be captured, it becomes an absolute scramble for teams to get themselves into position far enough away from whoever picks up that buff, and everyone is going to be scrapping over any of the map real estate left.
Absolutely. You do not want to be you do not want to be the target of a Draco Storm buff team. Is not a good idea at all. Especially when you don't have your ultimates to kite away. GG going to be breaking this wall. There is a Firefly in here. I believe that might be one of the reasons why they're coming in to get it. Oh, there it is. Beautifully done. Gonna be... Oh, wait. The other door was open as well. But okay, so someone was already there, but didn't pick up the Firefly. Interesting.
Maybe they already had that full ult.
Maybe they already had ult, perhaps. But if you're not coming back that way, you might as well pick it up, I
Might
suppose.
as well pick it up to deny another team. But maybe they wanted to... Because, like, when you pick up the buff, the team who picks up the buff, they get 2 chains of ultimate cycles, right? So maybe you wanted to leave a Firefly that you could kite over to, so that you could...
It's a very five head forward thinking, I will say. But we do have some pretty... You know, there's some astro brains here in this lobby. Absolutely.
Like JL going for Forbidden Seal so that no one can jump on them and punish them, because as we saw the last time, the team who picks up the buff paints a target on their back. And speaking about target on your back, Kylan just find the target he's going to be dashing onto, and it's poor TE's Peak. Run, Syra, run the dash once into the second off of the stagger. And that is a very dead Syra.
He appeared And this is also, I found out this guy's name is Xiao Luo. That's how you're supposed to say this. This is an abbreviation of his name. Xiao Zhao, and then the one is an L, Luo. We can call him Xiao, I suppose. Regardless, Xiao Zhao, he's frame one ulted that poor Tessa. It's just immediately, just out of nowhere, spots him. These are kind of players.
Yeah. When you've got two ultimates and you see a Syra, you can tell it's a little bit personal when they see that hero.
Yep.
And you need to take her off of the board before she can come through. Like, even if it's a lone Syra, we've already seen the chaos that a lone Syra can cause, the denial of the kill score multiplier for a team that's looking to take it all. And if you look at the scoreline for JL, they're 100% looking to take it all. They've got 6 eliminations. Sure, GG are currently ahead of them, but JL are in a much better position with a much better composition to be able to find these eliminations later on when the zone closes up.
Let's see how this goes forwards. We only have 12 people in total. It's not one of those stacked end games that we have been seeing. It's not where, it doesn't happen as much in solos anymore, but we've been seeing quite a few stacked end games with a lot of people for a while now. It looks as though GG, they're just threatening the engage here onto DRG. We want this spot. Get out of here. You've had your turn with the shop. My turn now. And JL, they are very happy to take advantage of this Draco Storm buff that they have, and they're going to be securing this Spirit Well. There's nothing that anyone can do at this point, so they are going to be getting it for free. They're going to be getting it, but thankfully, it's not another Draco Storm. Mystic Might, it's probably the least. It's the middle child. It's not the favorite buff out of any of them at the moment.
DRG are getting closer and closer to the Spirit Well.
The thing is, if they do, then I don't know. They risk a considerable amount. And this team still has Draco for a while, and they've managed to get it all the way to the very end of the charge for the Spirit Well.
Yeah, you can see DRG thought about it and then immediately decided not to, as everyone's understood that JL is gonna be snapping that one up, and now it becomes an absolute scramble for any distance that they can put between themselves and the team with 2 ultimate cycles. Joao cutting for player after player with this Kylan ultimate, setting up all of the dashes. In the meantime, JL still able to hold on to things like this TN transformation. Joao also able to utilize the verticality that you can aim with that Kylan dash, catch on to the players looking to hide themselves up those tree trunks, and JL will very quickly claim another, unfortunately for OA. They've now lost their Yoto. They've still got that Justina, so if they can find the freezes, JL's window to utilize this TNI ultimate is going to be significantly shortened. As we can see that JL are not slowing down at all. There's that Justina ultimate forced for her so she can get away from that zone damage tick coming in through. But one thing with the meter dump is just able to absolutely block off any point of return from that zone tick damage coming on through. And JL have gone from having so little eliminations to pretty quickly almost hitting double digits.
Yeah, that's why you don't want to be standing out in the crowd. The Justina Feria Yoto composition just immediately gets picked up on and immediately targeted. They just get absolutely lobbied. The Justina does do a good job of attempting to get another team focused, but it doesn't end up being all that fruitful for them, unfortunately. And they just get sent to the Shadow Realm. But DRG, with this Monk ultimate, not really able to get anything, unfortunately. GG TJS, having used that Zaya ultimate, is going to be a target, trying to disengage, heal up a little bit before these final moments in the lobby. Xiao holding on to this ultimate, I'd imagine. He's going to be trying to hold on until the very end as the zone is slowly creeping closer and closer to the center. LXM taking down extremely low. The Dragon Roar to peel. LXM puts a foot in the zone and very nearly goes down to that storm damage. CJS still hasn't managed to find a heal, but LXM being forced into the middle does get taken down. Not going to be able to get back up again, I don't think, as this is a very crowded, small space. DRG WX98 with that Kurumi ultimate, the double slam, kablam! Kakashi goes down. He had a little bit of time left on that ultimate, not going to be able to get it, not going to be able to use it, I don't think. JL trying their best to stay in the mix. Xiao Xiao using that ultimate, dashing through, trying to facilitate these grabs. Another slam. Dong Xing gets cooked, and it's pretty much over at this point.
There's
JL,
Syra,
three-man strong.
Oh, no, never mind. GG lost their Syra. The Syra is currently bleeding out. It is the Zai for the side of GG, who is currently still up. JL have all of their team. DRG also going to be missing that Kylan, so no immunity coming on off of that ultimate. As WX98 rolling around, trying to get away from this pulse or damage. GG lose their Zai. JL will be able to claim that one, and I believe they're also going to be the last team standing. That is going to be a hefty amount of points picked up for this team. Domino impacting in with 2 Spirit Well lobby rolls off of the back of a Draco Storm and Mystic Might, emboldening a Tian Hai and Kylan composition. They just got to go absolutely
too crazy to kick us off, I believe. JL. Oh no, wait. This is probably the craziest thing. YZG, JL. We're going through the teleporter. We're getting out of there. Whoa! It's just we see them for you blink and you miss it. You're out of there.
Yeah, there's so limited troves around those portals. Whichever team, and you can see it there, YZG got their hands on those troves first. And when we looked at JL's POV, they were running around with fists only. They hadn't been able to scavenge anything. So that very much puts context into the very quick hop into that portal to act as a reposition over towards Lakers. Bowder now going to be scouting down to see whether or not a team who was down that loop passed through that area recently.
Let's see. GG. I think they picked up a Firefly, and so is Youth as well. Now going over to these Fireflies is a very, very impactful. We've seen it time and time again. I am a huge advocate, the Firefly enjoyer. You gotta get your protein in. You gotta munch those bugs. You gotta get that rage going. Gets you juiced up, ready to go. Nothing crazy has happened just yet, at least not that we've seen. OA has gone down though. A couple of those players are down and are in soul form. You know, the fight kicking off between Bowder and DRG Kakaishi in that ultimate, beaming him down. The Tumult ultimate in play as well. ZZZT with the... Oh, does get parried, but he's chilling. He's not... You know, there's nothing too bad's happening just yet. XEM. Gotta get the focus. Kylan dashing through, trying to peel. DRG Kakaishi's trying to chase him down. The purple fist blade's gonna do a lot of damage. Sleepy T getting locked up. The jump LMB peeled for just in time. He's gonna be able to disengage and potentially get that reset. The RMB coming on through onto that Monk. Are there armor swaps? Looks as though there might be. WX98 with that LMB hold gets broken by the Kylan F. Kakaishi. Oh, the parry bait. No follow-up. Just barely the combo break saving him. Sleepy T 1 HP in a dream. Is he going to be able to survive this? Takeda ultimate is in play. The armor swap comes through. The parry onto Kakaishi. He gets taken down. They've turned the tables, Moxie. What is this fight? Another Tomoko.
Tumult ultimate comes on for Takeda, still having those Purin shoves, but Ching with the LMB from this fist blade, also holding on to that RMB, commits it onto WX98, will be able to find the elimination. Do we have a run back potential coming on through as well, as Battle will be able to see themselves through that fight without picking up trade. So that is going to be DRG backing on off, no run back coming out from their side. DRG, like, they put so much pressure on trying to just force that Zip into being out of LOS of her teammates that the Syra was a little bit too easily punished and was taken down. And without that support, even though the Tumult ultimate was committed, everybody from the side of the Zip team just was still able to have access to that healing and was able to out-sustain their opponents as WBG. Investing a Moonbane, as well as control of that Ballista Tower. Can I start to scout out the area? Unfortunately, Jing might need the eyes checked because he goes directly past JL, who were crouched, not inside a purple bush, but just around those wooden fences. And they get passed right on over. They don't have to worry about Ballista. They don't have to worry about the Moonbane. And now they just saw a team moving around past them. They can follow behind and look for a third-party opportunity to come on through with this Viper ultimate, or just go for it themselves. Trout gets hit by that Syra Stun Dazzle, and Yuran starts the beam rolling. That's going to be a Witch End teleport forced, and with the Syra ultimate still in play, Yuran can look to collapse onto them, and unfortunately for JL, out of the firing beam into the fire, they teleport directly on top of SS1, who just rolled up, and the fight begins anew.
Hello there, they say. They turn up right in the middle. Yuran in the combo. Oh, he does get the lift, but it gets griefed. Unfortunately, not able to claim that elimination before he teleports away just in time. Now, rotating around this Ballista Tower is pretty dangerous. JL, they're not looking to stick around. I think they're going to be disengaging. They only have that Viper ultimate to work with. SS1 now catching up to them. They're testing the waters to see if they can look for an engagement here. They do have WBG directly behind them, though. It looks as though that might be exactly what they have to worry about. Water taking a lot of damage. The Tesla Stun is going to come through the silence into the ultimate. Beautifully done. Leo in a lot of trouble right now. He's... Oh, but no! What on earth? He drops down behind the rock and doesn't get the stun. SS1 with the blunder. It's all gone downhill for them now. That's rough. That is that's rough to see.
And JL was still in the area and immediately come in with the third party. Zhao with the Viper V1. Chaser Jing out of the mix, and unfortunately sends them right into that Tesla enchantment from Wonfong. And off of the back of that one, JL look to try and make a disengagement because another team rolls up to the mix. Zhao has to peel back for his players, comes through with the fan RMBs, getting sent out back to back. It's WBG on one side of JL, OA on the other. SS1 also still around too, just looking to figure out what exactly is going on with all of these teams. And JL decided it's not going to be safe looking for a full disengagement. It's going to be far more cozier right in the middle, right on top of that Ballista Tower, because now all of the teams that rolled up are forced to hug the base of it or go directly into the damage that it can provide.
Well, this poor TXJ getting cooked in this Farrier mag. He's going to be dropping out of it now. The Syra F is going to take him to safety for just a moment. Zhao trying his best to fend these players off, healing just a little bit from that ultimate, but it's not going to save him. The Justina dash coming through, the freeze, chopping him down with that pulse or the LMBs, the RMBs, QGG trying to catch up to Junks now, having dashed away with a golden weapon. They do get their hands on that. That would be very nice for YZG, but it looks as though the player is going to be able to find a reset, but he didn't continue running. He disengaged, tried to run away, but stopped to heal, and it's going to spell disaster for them. SR now going to have to recover elsewhere. YZG picking up a golden weapon on their 3 eliminations, looking very solid at this early point in the game. They're going to be very well prepared for the upcoming Realm of Yang fight, as I'm sure they're going to be looking to go into it. But they're going to have to Jades.
Yeah, I mean, that legendary pulse sword went directly into the hands of TXJ, so that Syra laser beam is going to be hurting as you head into that first Realm of Yang. And even better for them, they're right next to one, which is also right next to a Rift Dealers. YZG striking gold, quite literally, after that fight with SR, and now all of these other teams going to have to scrap on out for passage, not safe passage. It's not going to be guaranteed, as we have a lot of teams running that Tessa Viper and Wuchang composition, looking to grief out teams wanting to pass into that Realm of Yang. And a well-placed CC there, a teammate dropped here, makes your Realm of Yang fight an absolute miserable experience, as we can see that GG safely made it through. They're going to be going head-to-head against YZG, as it's going to be Xiphon versus Syra. Who is going to be able to come out on top? Both of the teams taking to the air. Not utilizing that legendary pulse sword just yet. TXJ very much wanting to hold on to it in case he gets parried before that ultimate can come on through. And we can hear the stun dazzles looking for those CC frames so that the rest of these players from CXE and QGG can come on through with the skill rushes. Bow swap into pulse sword. One horizontal. Chips down LXM. The Matari tries to break away. The Justina hadn't utilized that F2. Now here comes the V1, the dash into the horizontal swing of that pulse sword. At the same time as CXE's mech is on the field, blasting these players, setting up those chain staggers so the Justina can find the dashing close up onto them. And this is YZG breaking, dismantling the players from the side of GG.
Oh my goodness, this was perfectly played. Using the Syra ultimate to force out that Karumi ult, and then looking to focus them all down with this Justina, leaving no options for them, trying desperately, scrambling to salvage the situation. QGG taking full advantage of this. Even in the stealth, they're not able to disengage away. QGG with this pulse sword, an absolute menace. LXM now goes down, and CJS following suit. YZG looking very, very solid in this realm of Yang. Now going to be able to pick themselves up a golden staff and their third purple armor of the game. Looking very kitted, very ready to just roll this lobby. QGG, but now given the golden dual blades. Oh, kind of you, buddy. He's got the golden staff. He doesn't need two golden weapons. QGG going to be blending through the rest of these lobbies. It looks as though ASC Xiao Wen's taking down a member of Bowder. OA going to be consolidating onto this Spirit Well and trying to extend it as long as possible, holding off on picking it up so that they can extend the effective duration of that buff. DRG,
it might get contested though, because we just saw OUG show up on the right side of the minimap when we were looking at that POV, and OUG have Yang depletion, so they're going to be looking for a fight.
Absolutely. They're going to need those soul blooms if they have a chance of surviving for the rest of the game. It's OUG, Bowder, and GG all in that similar position. Triple Yang depletion and triple Vermilion Birds, my DRG, YZG, and ASE. All very happy to just rotate around the map without a care in the world. Looks as though Bowder is stalking them, hunting them in soul form. Be waiting to resurrect themselves until they find an opportune moment.
Yeah, but you don't really want to take a fight against a team that won Realm of Yang.
True.
Especially not when it's a Sand Siphon composition with a Syra. Because there's a lot of CC, there's a lot of follow-up. You know, because they won a Realm of Yang, that Takeda V3 is well on its way to scaling to peak level 3. And also, not a lot is going to die. That's why Siphon is so immensely strong. It is just designed to outlast you, and still inside neutral is left with no choice. There's going to be teams having to take a fight if they do have that Yang depletion, and DRG gets to come on through. That Takeda F1 already getting to do work, as is that Tumult ultimate. Locks everybody down. Kakashi breaks out the beam, and everyone has to break away. TE running for their lives currently. There's DRG in hot pursuit. TE don't have Yang depletion. They just have to try and hold in for another team to try and body and bully their way into this mix. And it looks like two have potentially taken the bait. Both GG and OUG have shown up to the fray. And these teams do have to stick the landing. They've got Yang depletion and they're going to commit hard.
Exactly. This is exactly what I was talking about. They bided their time, waited until they found a team fighting, and then res themselves close by so that they could try and take full advantage of this and not have to take a straight 3 versus 3. CJS coming in from the back with that fan, trying to find these RMBs, trying to do as much damage as possible, chasing down this zipping. Now Bowder in danger. Sleepy T gets clipped by that F from CJS, knocking him down, but Bowder responding with that Tianhai ultimate, throwing out these hands, trying to find the grabs, and they find one! LXM gets caught by the Monk, able to do as much damage as possible, gets dropped down, immediately rejuggled, another grab onto 330, into the double slam, kablam! 2 tickets knocked down, not taking all that much damage though. Is going to survive for the moment. XEM taking to the skies. The Sky Monk disengaging. And now OUG is their turn to try and go for these grabs. They need the cleanse the Yang depletion. Oh my god! What is going on? GG just loves getting grabbed. It looks like, what is happening? That's the second time now. SS gonna be able to fully claim the soul blooms and cleanse that Yang depletion.
Oh, trying to come in for the second wind now. Tutic doesn't have the Viper P3, but with her still halberds is going to be able to try and chase onto the disengagement coming tonight from GG's LXM, and it is falling apart for the players of GG. That grab coming out from absolute nowhere forced the Karumi to having to commit the ultimate, and from there GG already had Yang depletion, so in for a penny, in for a pound. Fight's going on, maybe you can get a couple of kills and pick up some of those blooms, but unfortunately they don't even find any trades. Now, deep into zone, TE are getting tracked down by OUG, and that is going to be all of their members cleansed of the Yang depletion. At the same time, we're also going to see them having to be very careful about how they rotate into this zone. Good news for them is we can hear those realm of Yangs spawning on up now, so a lot of these really stacked up players who've scaled through into this mid game are going to be turning their attention to those positions as opposed to gatekeeping outside of the edge of that zone. But as this one is not in that position, they are absolutely gatekeeping. That Yodo throws out the F. There's the F2. The follow-up swing into the ultimate. Hand catches onto Juan. Tries to find the elimination. The Wuchen teleport carries everybody out. But now that the Yodo ultimate is done, it's going to have to be made up by that Farrier mech coming on through. Is there enough left? As TE lose youth, but at the moment, WBG even getting peppered down by the Farrier mech above them. Not a care in the world as Jing with the Zai V2 continues to swing the chain scythe round.
This is one of those spots on the map that you just hardly ever see anyone going to, but it's the death pit. Your back is against the wall, literally, as it's the edge of the map, and you're just stuck down there, unable to escape. Looks as though it's exactly what happened, but we're heading over to the realm of Yang. YZG up against DRG. Kakaishi getting locked up, using that combo breaker, not responding with the Syra ultimate just yet, but there it is, pulling the trigger. WX98 getting caught by these beams, up against the wall, trying to disengage. Now Kakaishi getting dazzled. They're beaming through that shield. They might be able to cut this Syra ultimate short if they're able to burst the rest of it down. Kakaishi 1 HP on that shield, and there it is. It does get bursted into the bonk. Oh my goodness, TXJ with the R&B, the vertical focus attack, absolutely obliterating his health bar. TXJ just running this realm of Yang. The Takeda coming in, trying to do something. WX98 just caught in the middle. It's over already. They're gonna just hold off on killing this player. Come back. Hey, come back here. Respect me. Oh my goodness.
Stop. They're already dead. They've already won. It feels like the second when we see that Syra mirror fight go through, if one Syra gets caught out by a stun dazzle, it changes the fight entirely. Like, you go from just being full offensive trying to beam the players down to just trying to keep your carry alive. And YCG just get to go so much more aggressive because they know that they have full control of the tempo off of that one bit of CC connecting onto the Mirror Syra. OUG's SS gonna be very happy that Tianhai was given the jump boost, but his ultimate is he pops the V2 and everyone from SR just runs away. OUG gonna be holding onto that ultimate a little bit longer, but outside of it now he doesn't have the bell. Didn't use it, loses all of that health. Windy Trinity from the fan grabs onto the players off the side of SR, managing to buy a little bit of disengagement window for OUG, but they've since left the Tianhai behind, and he is getting run down by an SR who, with a Yang win, have been able to pick themselves up Draco Storm, which is going to be doing all of that additional lightning AoE damage. They came here to find the eliminations. They've also been able to lay stake to this Riptide dealers in the area as well. They're going to be forced off of it by YZG, who also have the Draco Storm buff and also had that Realm of Yang fight win that we saw previously. And it looks like both of the teams, just understanding how kitted out that they are, decide to go their separate ways and look for weaker teams that they can absolutely body through instead.
Exactly. If both teams have buff, there isn't really much point in fighting each other. Why are we fighting each other when we can fight a team that doesn't have buff and you can actually take advantage of it? Exactly right. It is a philosophy that not everybody realizes, but These players certainly do. OUG in desperate times right now. SS has been taken down, but no. Ooh, okay, as I was literally mid-sentence, and they revive him. SS back on his feet now, having abandoned him before because they couldn't really do anything to save him. He does get brought back, and he has been revived, but this is not looking too good for Baby. Oh, okay, all right. The parry comes through, very nice indeed. The fan scale rushes. Gets a bit lost. Can't decide where he's going for a second. Wait, no, this way. He's going out into the open. He's trying to make his way over to his teammate Jinyu, looking for the peel with that bow shot onto the grapple. The ultimate is going to get committed here, I believe, by Junks. Having used that dash, he might be able to close this out very quickly if he pops that ultimate. There it is. Zhao trying to chase him down, trying to hold on to this player, but not able to do so. SS now with that purple armor is back up and running, but no ultimate to speak of just yet. This Matari ultimate, unfortunately, is not doing it as much as it could be. I think they held off on using it a little bit too long. If they'd used it immediately after that first dash, they may have been able to close this out. But it's gonna get extended here. Is that really gonna give them all that much? Because I believe that Zhao has ult. This is not looking too good for them. SS still very far off of it.
It's like they committed onto a team with OUG and they didn't understand the state of ultimates on the side, though. I think that's why they were really like very careful. You can see that OUG are kiting over towards ballista tracks too, so they might try and put that weapon between themselves and the team chasing them. But if they'd been able to take the kill onto the zip when they were Rico was able to track down the zipping, then I think we see the full commitment. But like what we were seeing in terms of the position, the pressure that they were putting onto the Tianhai, it felt very surface level. It was much more sort of like, do you have ultimate? We don't know if you have ultimate. If you don't have ultimate, then we can take this fight. But if you do have ultimate, then we have to force it and then disengage and hold on to our IV2 so that we can win the fight out afterwards. Because as we've talked about, right, that Matari composition, it's a very ultimate heavy composition. It's an all-in team fight composition, and they couldn't really afford to go all in because they already saw, they ran into the other team coming through with that Dracostorm buff. They knew that the team who'd won Realm of Yang was also in the area, and if they all aimed and gambled on taking a fight against a team that had a Tianhai ultimate, that's a very light fight that's going to occur, and a team that you do not want to get drawn into looking for a third-party opportunity. At the moment, everyone is going to be scrapping over Spirit. Well, speaking about third party, it's an all-out party because every single team in the area has invited themselves to this scrap.
They have indeed. DRG, I believe, was actually looking to try and do that strategy where you let yourself die in the zone or something or other, and then revive your teammates with the rebirth charm, since they have Yang depletion. Of Yang depletion, so if one of them goes down, they cannot be picked back up again. Kekaishi, I believe, he cannot do anything about it. Thankfully, for Takeda, the one who has survived, it was the one that was given all of the money in there. As you can see on top of the screen, DRG have managed to buy both rebirth charms for their teammates. So they are going to be coming back into the mix later on once they've looted up. WBG still scrapping down. OUG getting that 2-1-1 going, managing to take a decent amount of his shield off of him, but it's not going to be enough. Bowder, Sleepy T trying to fend them off, but what can he do in the 3 versus 1 as a lonely zipping WBG makes short work of him, looking to continue the snowball going, having secured that White Tiger's buff. It's going to be very hard to stand up to them at this point. YZG with a slap coming through. Chow! Rico goes down. YZG, a similar situation as WBG, just running around, absolutely obliterating solo players.
Yeah, and you can see them putting pressure as well onto OUG, who have that Tianhai. Have not popped Vajra just yet. Might have to, though. Everywhere they try and run, if they try and disengage WBG, they run into another team. Unfortunately, DRG, it looks like, run into OUG, get taken out by that Viper F coming in from the kill feed. As DRG now going to be down that Syra only with the Temi, unless they can stick the revive. Ching looking to stick the RMB from that spear, finally finds the Dragon Slayers at the same time as Yiran finds theirs. Double Nezzes spinning off from the side of WBG is going to be sending that elimination off to home. As we can see, as camera cuts over to helicopter POV, WX98, the last player for DRG, is currently hidden inside that invis bush and taking that chances, hoping that Bane is wanting to be merciful today.
And if this bi-weekly so far has been any indication, I'm surprised he's still alive, to be honest with you. I'm very surprised. He's very confident at the moment. You have to be if you... Oh, there it is! See? He does get knocked around.
I don't think anyone saw. Yeah. He was able to roll back into the invis bush immediately afterwards, at least.
Thankfully, it was not a quadruple Moonbane hit that just absolutely one-shot him. But there's still time. There's still time on that Moonbane. WBG rotating around. Jing poking at these players with that musket. Are they going to be looking for an engagement? Doesn't look as though they're fully committing. Fully committing here would be somewhat unwise, I believe, as there's just a lot going on. And if you get caught out and you use your abilities, you are going to be in a bit of danger. XCM. Speaking of danger, he's got one man left on his team with no armor, having just used Chanhai Ultimate. He's just playing the confidence game right now. He's a con man, just pretending as though he's part of the team, running around. We're close to all of these players. WBG looking pretty strong right now. I doubt they're going to be denied this Spirit Well.
Yeah, not with Dreadful Whale currently in the mix, and there's the connection onto XCM. Bowder had one player 1 second, you blink and boom. Gem has disappeared in a puff of smoke and Dreadful Whale dagger hits. Jing commits the Zai V2 as well. WBG all confident that they're going to be able to pick up this buff and grab themselves another cycle of ultimates. And with all of these players so close to the edge of the zone, that's going to be a lot of stun dazzles into a whole lot of Zai V2 chain scythe kicks coming on through. OUG get absolutely barbecued with White Tiger's Paris as well, popping on off for every single elimination that they're able to claim. This is just clean up right now, Dunk.
This is obliteration. Jing pulling out that ultimate. It scares them into teleporting away. Come back here, he says as he grapples up the cliff. But SS1 cutting him down, preventing him from going up there. The Soul Bloom has been left for him, so he's going to be picking that up and immediately going back up there. I believe there it is, grappling up. Can he find an opening? Meng is his initial target. PP eating the brunt of that empowered focus. Jing trying to catch him, trying to juggle him out of the air. The F comes through for PP. It looks as though he's going to be taken down relatively soon. The fire damage is applied, and there it is. Nowhere to go. OAPP cannot stand tall. And now I believe they still have that Tessa and the Viper still alive, but it's going to be hard to find this resurrection. YZG hiding in that bush at the edge of the zone.
We get spotted.
Trying to stay as inconspicuous as possible. A man down as well. OA walking over. There's hardly any full teams at the moment. I believe it's only SS1 and WBG, and SS1 has just burned all of their cooldowns one, and then used that ultimate. This might be a bit spooky for them. WBG Yeran in a low HP situation, but he's got the armor swap ready to go. There it is. Two-tick with the silence, trying to find something, but the Matari going to be able to deny that Viper ultimate. Yeran looking pretty unstoppable right now.
Yeah, Yeran getting to take cover. Managing as well to play a position of interruption in case anyone tries to go after his low health healing teammates. Now, Leo back into the mix, fully healed back on up. It's gonna allow WBG to buy back all of the space in the low ground. Everybody else sent packing, having to try and scrap out for any space that isn't currently in possession of WBG, and they're cannibalizing any safe position right now. If you want to try and take a fight and look for a recent opportunity, you fall right back into the clutches of WBG, still up on this low ground with all of their ultimates currently back into that mix. However, the silence does hit and connect onto Jing, who has to pack his bags and wait for that one to be done. Yuran now gets to come and prove the Styro V1. That's all of the verticality, so much space left too. There's so little terrain for these players to be able to dodge out of those stun dazzle hits coming on through, with wave roll being nerfed in this current iteration. They don't have the stamina to be able to dodge the dazzle. And WBG just have to clean up against YCG because TXJ bid his time, comes out with the latest Syra ultimate, has the verticality overview over the heads of WBG. The stun dazzle's connecting onto multiple plays. He gets an elimination onto Jing. Yuan tries to go into that zone damage so that he doesn't potentially give a pick away to this team, but he puts himself up onto the owling into that dazzle, and YCG deny the kill score multiplier and the 20 bomb. WBG would have picked up blank if they'd been able to grab both of those. They're not going to be happy.
No, absolutely not. They flew a little too close to the sun there. They got a little bit too aggressive. But YZG gonna come away with the MVP. What an endgame. It was looking really solid for them. WBG was looking unstoppable, but no.
That's not where you normally land. Okay, you're going to be seeing a lot of action as well as Ace of Peak, which is where we're going to be starting off. SS1 and WBG both not really going for a fight just yet. Looting very important for both the TN High and the Zeiss, so that they can scale into their ultimates for that first bout. Meantime, JL and YZG absolutely no such worry. Directly kicking things off. TXJ not going to be going into that parry. Looks instead to turn the fist blades onto Zhuao and gets the parry onto him into the jump LMB before turning in with the charge of the RMB off of the opening set up by CXE. YZG understanding the numbers advantage that they have. This is just cleanup at this moment, unless that Tesla ultimate can find something. 60% rage has now been surpassed. It can come on through, but unfortunately there is no follow-up, and YZG very much just looking to try and pick off with the Syra F1. Actually, TXJ having to fall on back. They've lost QGG, who's going to salty run back. He just revived. He's making his way over on the minimap dunk. YZG committing. Let's hope they haven't made a mistake.
Yeah, let's hope not. TXJ in that Syra ultimate to try and make something happen and hold on to the one thing here on the Tessa. No ultimate, no nothing. Trying his best there. He's not enough. The dazzle comes through. He does get finished off. I am surprised. The QGG, it's winnable. Is it winnable? I'm coming, boys. He turns up, saves the day, closes out this fight. JL, Cuckoo, let's try and waste their time. Try and extend this further. So he's potentially going to try and turn it around, but who knows if he's going to actually get anything from this. I highly doubt it. He's doing what he can, but I feel like it's a matter of time at this point.
If he can find another team, which is what he's looking for. Unfortunately, we can see from the minimap there was no other team for him to be able to run YZG into, because 100% it was calmed that YZG burned one of those rebirths this early on in the round. If they could have baited YZG into taking a fight against another team, potentially the Wu Chang gets the opportunity to slip away and hold on to his own rebirth, and YZG's momentum would have been disrupted early on because they could have been down a player and having to scramble for those rebirth charms. As SR have already been able to get their hands onto that Volpine Essence, so keep an eye on that one when they go into a realm of Yang. That surprise factor can be the turning point between a win and a loss.
Absolutely. Well, you know what else can be the turning point? That Moonbane that SR has under their belt. Are they going to make some? Get some value out of it, or will they not be able to really recover? Because I think that this is probably the breaking point. If they don't have a solid game here, it's going to be that much harder to come back in the future games. So we'll have to see. YZG on 51.3 and a WBG keeping up with them, 51.1. The gap of 0.2 has remained. They are still only 0.2 behind them, but they could be turned very, very quickly. ASE, a quick replay of a fight that they had early on. Bowder getting caught by the stun, missed on his own. The parry comes through. Nice little follow-up. Jing getting caught by the F3. On the out of wake up, missed trying to catch him. Jing getting caught on the scale rush attempt. The dash comes through. The RMB jump RMB. The RMB into LMB and missed with the clutch. The 1v3 immersive for ASE. I'm bound to be happy about that one, but they do need some better loot sooner rather than later if they want to keep it going.
Yeah, they do have, for the most part, access around Skygaze Cove, as we can see them heading over towards Celestial Barge and looking to lit up the area there. OUG going to be shadowed by SR. Currently, Rico finding out the hard way that Venom Tip is attached to one of those repeater crossbows and now having to invest that combo breaker as well as the V1, looking to put himself up onto that verticality and connect those stun dazzles onto the players masked up below him. But OUG's SS is looking to do the exact same thing. Boombane has been invested though. SR with the Siren Ultimate looking to keep OUG's attention into this location for those AoEs to start coming on through. Haven't been able to get any Moonbane hits, but have been able to chunk down a lot of this health coming on out from OUG's Takeda. Baby Hugh already losing a lot of it. Does find a great armor reset in one of those turrets that he's able to open, but without that tumult, the numbers advantage is in the side of SR's favor. Takeda Ultimate is going to be invested, but as we talked about, that V3 is not yet scaled up to be able to get the max range of distance or shove knockback, and now it is going to be SR consolidating that positions, coming on through with the Zai V2, and no way did OUG commit. The Tumult goes for the salty run back, revive, throws in the Temi ultimate over the top of this fight. OUG think this is winnable. Zhao, outside of his ultimate, he burns that Comet too, doesn't have the reposition, is currently getting taken down 1 versus 2. Out comes the dual blitz, turning the RMB focus against the players before OUG can look to parry it, but he is down his Matari and just now has to try and kite as he kites towards the Soul Altar, and SR Salty revive one of their players too.
They are gaming. They know it's make or break, but oh my goodness. Junks goes down, frame 1. Baby you so close to dying, but the ultimate comes through, and now Zhao left in the 1v3 against the demon is dead and gone, and now he only remains in the soul realm, the spirit realm. The feeling he must feel right now is rough. That is certainly a bad feeling indeed. They need a win soon, otherwise they're not coming back.
You can tell it's getting to them too. Yeah, like we've had now 3 teams go for the salty revive and run it back into a still ongoing fight on Pedoria. What is going on in this map today? I think all of these teams, like, they understand how close it is in terms of the overall scoreboard, that every single elimination that they can get really does matter, and if they can crush the momentum of a team who is currently leading the scoreboard early on, then it gives them that opportunity to make a play later on in the day when it gets those important matches, when MVP eligibility does start coming into the question. As into the question comes the realm of Yang positions, and now we have to wait to see which of these teams gonna rise to the occasion and put themselves through it. At the moment, OA not looking at one such position. They're having to commit hard into this fight up against JL. That Viper ultimate gets frame perfect dodged by PP coming on through with the Tien High transformation at the last possible moment, and this Viper without that backup is now getting charged down on by the last couple of dashes coming through from this Kylan. Wuchen teleporters here? Oh no, they Wuchen teleported 1 meter away from where they popped it.
Oh goodness, that's not what you want, but thankfully it did save them. But he did get a grab, but the Wuchen TP coming in clutch, saving the day. Now OA gonna try and chase them down. Kukutu with those hold checks, those blue focuses, trying to fend off these players. PP getting, oh my god, smacked, kicked in the face from the side out of nowhere. Meng also very low HP, 2-tick. He's essentially full health right now, but he's not being able to impact the fight. He's now become the target. JL1 Feng is going to get put up against the wall here. Can he disengage? Dodging away the fist blades. The shadow dodge, keeping him going. Cuckoo 2 goes down, though. It's not looking too good for them. The combo break comes through. Xiao is next on the dogged, but the response, the LMB focus, the 1-2 into the Viper ultimate. They have to retreat. They have to find line of sight, but it's not going to be enough for Xiao. Too little, too late. That Viper ultimate not going to be able to lock any of these players down, and they get eliminated. OA coming in clutch.
WBG now looking to find some clutches of his own, gets one onto CXZ, who's getting absolutely fried. There's the slam into the Kylan dash follow through, and that's going to set up the re-grab. Zip does invest the ultimate too, making sure to keep both the Kylan and the Tian Hai alive once those ultimates have dropped on up, and YCG's TXJ still has the Syra ultimate active. The V1 burns on out, and we go back into this neutral scale rush attempt at the Syra, keeping a chase up onto these low health players, not allowing that full disengagement to come on out, but CXE has gone down in the meantime. No Temi, no positions here to be able to throw out those wisps and potentially find one of those frame CCs onto the players. And now it comes down to WBG just having to organize. There's the 1-2 freeze from the Fist Blades, and there's the win inside the realm of Yang for WBG.
Looking good for WBG. But it was looking good last game, and it didn't end very well for them. I mean, it ended okay. Wasn't bad, but it wasn't the MVP they wanted. But who knows? Things, the tides can change. No, it's evident in that SR was just dominating in the group stage, and now they just can't find their footing. They can't find it. Well, hopefully they can, for their sake. Hopefully, for their mental, they need it. ASE now sitting on this Spirit Well, missed the 1v3 GOAT from the early game. He's just holding onto that space, holding onto that purple armor, waiting, biding his time, and waiting until he can just push it as far as he can to get that buff to last as long as possible. Bowder with that Vermilion Birds might gonna be rotating around. TE, ooh, the res, the Yang depletion scrap off Moxie. YZG resurrecting very close. Are they gonna be looking for this fight? TE backing off immediately. TXJ going to the sky, the grapple up. Grapple LMB looking for a drop down. Can he find it? He's looking for that zipping focus, the zipping peak, disengaging. Tries best. Youth coming in from the back, like getting him with that little bit of chip damage, that little focus. Xiaonan popping that Monk ultimate. The Tumult ultimate goes down to try and counter it, but the grab has already come through and has been slammed. QGG gets grabbed up. This is not looking too bad so far. Somewhat even, back and forth. TE able to fend them off. They are at a slight loot disadvantage, but they are making it work. Xiaonan hopping and skipping his way over there. TXJ getting locked up. The Syra ultimate is getting affected by the Kylan here. QGG trying to force them back. The fan, will he find it? There it is. The RMB youth getting lower and lower now. YZG look as though they're gonna be able to take this fight home, but TXJ getting caught in the corner on his own, gets taken down now in a 2 versus 3. This is not looking good. YZG, QGG on the back foot, turns it around. There it is. Boom. TE are gonna turn this fight. The armor swaps galore, and there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. They are down for the count for game number 4.
Long-term sustained fights in terms of the matchup between Syra and Zip just benefit the Zip so much more. We got to see that from Pete, just throwing in that F1 when those players started going a little bit low as Kakashi comes on for throwing out the RMBs from this hang sword. Another Witch and Teleport going to be invested, but the 2 versus 1 make that the 3 versus 1. That is ZZT is just absolutely removed from the spot. Might as well have been reduced to ash with the speed that he got absolutely decimated. DRG already making a very strong play, but not as strong as OUG, who are currently on 8 eliminations in this lobby. Dunk, another team that were dominant in the regular week, had since a little bit of a quieter start to the day. Coming into the first bi-weekly finals, we're going to be having a look and seeing just how they were able to hit those 8 eliminations. 3 of them are going to be fighting inside the realm of Yang as SS with the Syra V1. Stun doubles onto TE's youth. This poor Kylan, the target of focus, so those dash disruptions can't start to come on through. You can see as well, Xiaonan on that Tian Hai just looking for any particular grab that he can find, because that would then force SS to have to play peel for his players as opposed to getting to play aggressively off against TE's win condition. The Syra ultimate is done. The fact that TE is still holding on to this Kylan ultimate means something has to go horribly wrong for the side of TE, and it might come in the form of Baby Use later on to Kata V3. Those Furin shoves mincing down these players of TE, preventing them from finding any follow-up on Youth's dashes. And OEG now just having to deal with that last standing Kylan before they find the win.
Beautifully done. Those parries coming through from OUG. Beautiful. just turn around, eyes in the back of his head. Parry just able to dismantle that team there. GG. Speaking of being dismantled, 1v3 in the zone. LXM goes down and joins his team in the spirit world, as GG has also been fully eliminated from the lobby. We have JL, GG, and YZG all back in the lobby. We do have one team that's relatively close, I believe. SR, having lost both the Syra and the Matari earlier on, the fight that we were witness to at the beginning, where the double salty run back, but he's still not been able to find the rebirths and resurrect his teammates. But we do have a scrap off here. ASE missed, getting caught. The juggle comes through. No chance to get up. You cannot play the game, good sir. Get down on the ground, he says. SS1. Good lord, giving him no options whatsoever. Poor Viper indeed.
Yeah, that's very much a hands off the keyboard moment.
Yep.
As Juan dodging out of that Tesla ultimate. It is going to connect onto Juan, but they take the Tesla down 2 versus 1 before the Teva can connect properly and snap into that 3-second enchantment window. As Bida will be able to snap back at ASE's hand. In the meantime, we've actually got the second realm of Yang spawning on up, but just as we've seen in the previous maps, a lot of the teams not anywhere near the portals. They're more than happy just taking their fights elsewhere around that map. So worried about being griefed out of getting through those entrances by the amount of Testify from Wuchen compositions currently running into the mix, as well as those Cyrus, Yuran, gonna be matching Tianhai ultimate alongside OA's PP, and now the stall tries to come on through both of these Tianhais, blocking and obscuring each other's POVs so that they can't possibly find grabs through their players, as Yuran pushes his mirror back, sets himself up into a prime window of grabbing these players out from his view. Will be able to find one grab, but Tutik is going to be mashing that struggle, gets stunned out of being able to commit the slam, now is able to find the throw, but the tracking on that Zip F1 keeps the Kylan alive, and OA are actually down a player instead.
That's insane. The Monk fight, the Monk Dita is just, it's evolved so much over time. It's actually so interesting to watch. Like the strategies, the min-maxes, the jump on the waist that'll turn around at this and that is very cool to watch, I have to say. But WBG are going to be the ones that are cleaning up this realm of Yang. The 3 versus 2, the numbers advantage is too much in this situation, and they are able to claim it. Gold armor going over to this team. Question is, will they give it to Yeran, or will they leave it on Jing? It's a bit of a 50-50 toss-up as to who gets this golden armor. Because yes, the Monk could benefit, as his ultimate's health pool will scale with it. However, Jing, with his ultimate, he ends up using a lot of his shield, a lot of his health, sorry. So he needs to make up for that sometimes by having that extra bit of shield with the higher grade armor. But we'll see. It looks as though he's keeping hold of it for now, as they're being chased by TE.
Are we going to see the fight? Both of these teams are buff.
I think they're essentially it's the handshake. It's the non-verbal agreement that there is no use in fighting each other at this point, and that they're going to be going off into the distance very shortly. They needed to establish this first of all.
I did like that the Draco Storm was still hitting the players when they got a little bit too close. Damage was done before those two teams decided to split on off. As TE and WBG. WBG definitely going to be putting distance between themselves and the rest of the teams when it comes to the leaderboard. For the first time today, since both YZG and DRG have been fully eliminated, so WBG's path to remaining at the top is going to be obscured by OA. However, OA not in the greatest of positions, just having lost a fight against WBG and now being struck down with Yang depletion. They have 3 minutes and 42 seconds. You can see that timer, unfortunately, counting continuously down for this team to be able to pick up those blooms and find a fight that they might find in the form of SS1, who are currently squirreled away playing cozy inside the invis bush. Do OA decide to check it? Surely they do.
Oh no, they do not. Oh? Wait a minute.
Yes, they do.
Oh, they do. Oh my goodness, they find them in the bush. Here they are. Oh, sorry guys, we need to do this. OA over the engaged PP, losing a bit of that blue armor, is going to be using that Tianhai ultimate. Now trying to jump after this team. They're going around the ring around the rosy on these rocks. Juan trying to break away. The grab gets sent out. It is going to go wide. There's no line of sight. He's trying desperately to keep hold of him. Trying to keep line of sight. Oh! Does he find it? No, he does not. Turning his attention to the players behind him now.
Uh-oh.
OAPP trying to find anything.
He's about to find WBG.
Oh,
Dunk
no.
He's about to find the full team of WBG just as he drops Tianhai ultimate. WBG, like, they rolled up just as V2 drops, so they know the exact state of ultimates that OA have access to.
That's rough. That is a big Sag. Also, I wanted to know that WBG and TE, both teams with the buff, I'm pretty sure TE was just following them. You know, because they knew that the TE knew that WBG didn't want to fight them, but they were just gonna follow them just as a troll, essentially, just to, you know, oh, wherever you guys go, we're going too. You know, we're coming along for the ride. Oh, this is such interesting dynamics in these games at times. It's definitely developed over the years. But OA, I'm trying to close this out. SS1, they're still doing a good job of kiting this. Are they going to be able to do it, though?
He is still just around the corner on that mini-map, but finally now, Tutik with the Kylan investment. He's gonna try and go for the knockdown, but he's getting absolutely microwaved by SS1's water, who is just absolutely evaporating all of that health. But with the Syra V1, the Kylan gets hit by a stun dazzle right next to Meng. There wasn't a follow-up Beamer because water is out of his ultimate. It's the Pulse Sword instead, as well as that Zai coming on through. Juan held on to that Zai V2. They let the Syra ultimate force out the panic response from OA instead. They knew that PP didn't have that Tianhai ulti. He'd invested it previously. They'd been kiting since, so they weren't allowing him to regenerate up that rage. It was purely the Kylan that they had to be able to worry about and live in. That was achieved, and now WBG and TE both still across the river, seeing each other, but WBG getting the better position, getting that spirit well. And unfortunately for OA, I believe their last surviving teammate just showed up directly in WBG's crosshairs too.
Oh no. Oh no. And you're not getting away from Mystic Might either. Kylan in Ultimate. Meng. It's rough, buddy. It's not looking good. I respect not just AFK. I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to do that, but it's kind of a bad feeling, you know. You have to fight that out, bro. How do you do anything in that point? It's unwinnable. Kylan, ladies and gentlemen.
Maybe you would be able to kite it, but you had Yang depletion, so regardless, it was kind of a cooked situation. As we're gonna see now, teams not really wanting to make all that much of a ruckus. Proud of being very
Just found a nice little spot. Okay, let's sit here, and then we immediately get pushed out of it.
Proud of being very quiet. WBG and TE both again staying very close to each other. As we can see, TE Xiaonan, legendary armor. Not a legendary weapon on the TNI just yet, but still very much happy to just follow along with where WBG decides to go off onto. No one really committing anything though. Not just yet, as WBG being a little bit more proactive in hunting down where that zone is going to be pushing these players into their open arms. But everybody else saw where the Spirit Well was postured on up and decided to take a big berth away from it before that zone could push them into having to rotate around.
OUG looking pretty solid right now. This is going to be an interesting end zone with all of these tall trees. Usually on Perdoria, we don't see an end game like this. I think I've only ever seen it once happen in this area. Once before. It's pretty low likelihood that this ever really happens. But we get to see it today, ladies and gentlemen. SS1 sitting atop this this tree. I was about to say tower because of how tall it is. This is a ridiculously tall tree. WBG sitting down at the bottom, probably preparing to go for the Spirit Well. That's going to be spawning in very soon. We currently have that 80% Moonbane, the 80% of the zone being taken up by the Moonbane. TE happily rotating around the edge, trying to find perhaps the shop, as there is still a Darktide Rift dealer in the zone. Another rare occurrence in these end zones. Usually you don't have a shop to go shopping at. Oh wait, SR fully recovered. I was wondering where they were. Look at them. All three of them blue armor in that little cage.
Yeah, they're up in that bird cage. They're currently blue birds rather than blue berries.
Yes, blue birds. Yeah, exactly. Good one.
But unfortunately, those bars are not going to keep them safe from the cannon damage coming on through, especially if there's a Flamesref Rupture Gale attached as a Soul Jade to that one. Jeranan is going to receive the Zip F1. Now thinks back about potentially sniping down some of these other players. WPG also. Yuran, that is gutsy, goes into it and Moonbane was still going off. Just to make sure that the team has a position to put themselves into that spirit. Well, immediately TE potentially going to compete alongside this as well. They are both on that Tian High composition. They want to be able to take advantage of that dome blocking range damage, and you can see that this Spirit Well isn't as free as the others were previously. A Syra ultimate is gonna come on through, everyone having to play around Bowder going for the uptime there. Yuran is actually gonna put himself into a contest though. Goes for that Tian High V2, just keeping it in play so the Syra ultimate doesn't bag the Spirit Well for Bowder's team entirely. And WBG, once the Syra ultimate has been done, can try and move back into the position they'd been holding previous. A grab comes out onto Rico 2 just as that bubble dome drops. That is going to be SR's hopes of being able to pick up all of that loot popped alongside it. WBG get the buff, get the re-ult cycle for Yuran's next V2, and get the armor reset swap too.
Very nice for WBG. I'm surprised they were actually able to get their hands on it. That Syra was certainly a menace, like a fly that you're trying to punch out of the sky. Just like, you gotta come back here. Is unable to catch him, unfortunately. WBG now peeling for this monk that's immediately getting focused down by this ranged fire, the ranged artillery. Look at it. He just healed that gold armor, by the way. It was just full a second ago, but immediately gets cut down. OUG, I think, very menacing atop this tree, just raining down fire. Bowder also in the mix with a swarm, no less, on Sleepy T. Also, we decided we're going to call him Sleepy T, I think, because ZZZ is a bit too long of a way to say this. Makes it a little bit easier. SR, Junks did manage to get his hands on that purple armor that I believe Yeran dropped to pick up the golden one. A nice little upgrade for themselves, but the rest of the team is still likely sitting on that blueberry armor, the bluebird in the cage, waiting for their time to take flight. Jing with that focus slide, just walking around, just having a good time. Nothing really is happening at the moment. No intense battles just yet, but it's about to change very, very soon, as this zone has now started creeping in, Moxie. It's about to get oogly.
OUG trying to hold on to that perch on top of those trees. TE gonna be revealing Aurora Burst in the back pocket. That silence effect gonna be potentially devastating if it can attach onto a play like over a Zip or a Syra or even a Kylin before he can come on through and utilize either a combo breaker for his ultimate to live just a little bit longer. SS1's water is going to be picking on up SR Xiao, so one of those bluebirds has had their wings plucked, unfortunately. As WBG's Yuran moves into position, spots out some of those teams a little bit closer to the fringes of that zone, comes on through with the cannon damage. Still keeps a hold of that B2, as well as showcasing that we've got the tuna on the table for the Tianhai. So he's going to have continuous tick healing. TE managing to carve out a place on the right side. It is entirely their territory because of that Aurora Burst, and it's sending a lot of these teams up into the sky. We talked about the bird cages. Some of these players going to be flying for a matter of moments as long as they possibly can when the zone closes. Dunk, we are in for an absolute slugfest.
We really are. All these players going up and down all around. Xiaonan aiming upwards with the cannon, not ideal, as it does have that arcing trajectory. It's going to be hard to actually land any of those hits. The slide LMB, I believe I just saw from SS, got the rampage as well. Perhaps Baby U taken down very low. The walks into the smackdown from Yeran. Boom! There he goes. Kablam! Baby U goes down. WBG. We're gonna pick up some more kills. Rings the bell with the grab. Water Chad, and then instantly gets the double grab. Holy moly! Zwan goes down. He's looking to try and get the other one, but not able to do so. Yay, run! What a beast! Definitely getting value out of that ultimate. For sure. TE trying their best to hide within their Aurora Burst at the bottom peak, just sending out these spikes. Xiao Nan's turn to pop this Tianhai ultimate. Will he be able to find value? Look at this. Look at WPG are in the cage trying to stay out of sight, but the zone's pushing them in. They desperately need to get in there. Yeran gets grabbed up. Leo gets silenced with the Aurora Burst, not able to use that ultimate just yet, and he goes down to the storm damage as well. Yeran now eating the brunt of this Kylan ultimate, dropping down from the sky. SS1 Water slowly ticking down the shield, keeping him alive for just that little bit longer. Youth goes down. OUG, Bowder, and SR all drawing. What on earth is that? For a three-way tie?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I think I found my favorite endgame play. Like, you know when you're playing Monopoly and there's someone in the game who has like all of the streets and stacked up the hotels, and sometimes it's safer to stay in jail for your free turns? That was WBG. Unfortunately, they had to play bail eventually because of that zone tick moving away. But you better believe if that zone had stayed on that cage just a little bit longer, it would...
Please, at least not yet. But I imagine in my head that that's what that said. Probably not, though. Regardless, we're jumping in. WBG beelining it straight to City of Tang and try and get there as quickly as possible so they can get their hands on this loot. It's not a gold zone, but it doesn't matter. It's still City of Tang. And here we are with our first few eliminations going over. SR Jumps taking down OGSS and DRG. Kakaishi taking down one of these players as well. The Karumi is going to be quickly following. WX98 going to get eliminated on his team, though, no less. ASE putting up a fight. We've got the 2 versus 2 coming out now. Dongxing getting knocked around. The Kylan F being utilized. Kakaishi getting dashed through, and there it is. Matari going to make short work of these players. Matari is so good in these early situations. It's similar to that Viper F3 prowess, where you can empower the dash, hold it for that little bit longer, make it gold focus, and just do a chunk of damage.
Yeah, and the dash then depositing both of those 2 player stacks on top of each other for the RMV staff scoop. That was brutal, as now we can see the underside of City of Tang. All of these players having slid through and put themselves underneath that main building. As Zhuao on this Takeda gets caught up into a wisp, immediately going to be followed through with the RMVs from those halberds. Tries to throw an RMV of his own on that fan, but gets absolutely melted by SS1 coming in for Zhuan with the jump horizontals off of this longsword. So quick, absolutely blitzing down the health bars.
The Xiao popping that F1 on the Takeda, just running into it, just hit me! Hit me! Give me that blue focus, you know you want to, but no, sadly
he does get
not.
Hit. It's just not the attack that he is asking for.
Sadly not. And he goes down. He has to go for it. It's the gambit. The gamble. You've got to send it. SS1 Juan now in a very tough spot. Getting bonked. Going down to that spear from GGLXM. CJS now taking down Swan. It looks as though SS1 is going to be fully eliminated very, very soon. They do still have lives, I believe. I don't think that they haven't used their rebirths just yet. However, their game has been somewhat slowed down by this occurrence. Wait, do they do have reses? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was for a second there, I thought, You know,
I was like, there's a solo to right there after the craziness that we saw. Midoriya starting the
run
circle.
it back.
I was like, are they gonna try and run it back? But they'd invested so much into that fight. We had the Sire ultimate going off, the Temi ultimate going on off, and you were fighting up against the Viper Tessa Wuchen team. So even if they use like the Viper ultimate and one Tessa, she gets it back so incredibly quickly because Tessa gets 2 casts of her ultimate. With it costing 60% for one, that if you try and run it back onto a Tessa team, a lot of the time you're going into a disadvantage. As YZG were the only ones who dropped Yushan Ruins. We got to see that JL were actually part of the mix that landed City of Tangside over earlier, so they've been able to get themselves all of the loot as well as put themselves through that portal room to pick up the Firefly cage. So their rage is going to be at 100% charge currently. Much slower in terms of a start to this round in comparison to what we'd seen previously. You know, we have so many Viper teams currently in play because the fights haven't really been breaking out as aggressively. It's only now that we're really starting to see a lot of this action and third-party opportunities for the Assassin-style hit squads.
Teleport comes through. SR's on the run, but they've got the reverse bounty going. Ye-Run is the bounty target. They're using it to their advantage to keep track of SR, but the Moonbane coming in. Junks with that Tessa stun is going to be able to potentially burst this down. The Moonbane coming through. Oh my goodness. No. WBG, they went for it. The quadruple Shadow Dash is going to lead into the auto release, and SR are ready for it. Is this the comeback story for SR? Are they going to salvage their day? Because, oh my goodness, they need to. They're now on 6 eliminations, wiping out WBG, forcing them to go back to the Shadow Realm and respawn elsewhere. But
That's
SR
so
not out of
rough.
the woods yet.
Yeah, but WBG, they invested in this round, remember? They went for the Tianhai team.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they ran into that Viper V3, and just as we were talking about, right, that Teva being able to snap onto Matari prevents the Matari ultimate from selfing you out of it, but if it snaps onto a Tianhai, it also prevents the I-Prime from coming on through and getting you out of it. And he wanted to go for it. He was directly on top of the Moonbane hit too, but he just wasn't able to because that silence was still applying to him because of the V3 charging on up. And off of the back of that one, WBG didn't have an ultimate to access to zone the other team away from or buy themselves a win condition to curveball it back into that fight. And now they'll have lost all of their loot. They'll be starting back from zero when all of these teams are patrolling the areas and trying to figure out if there's a team that's just in that same precarious position that they can punish.
Yeah, exactly. And this is reminiscent of the talk we were talking about earlier when it came to Perdoria floating piles. Here in this situation, there are no floating piles, so it's going to be that much more difficult to salvage the game. WBG especially playing Zai Tianhai, they definitely appreciate the good old scaling on their ultimates, so it's quite important for them to have these higher tiered items. Otherwise, they're not going to be meeting their peak in terms of their strength as characters. One Fang dropping down that Tumult ultimate in this scrap-off. GG able to take one down. Xiao Xiao coming in, trying to salvage the situation, but it's not to be, I don't think. JL are looking relatively cooked here. Tessa ultimate is in play. Cuckoo is gonna get locked up. The combo break comes through. They're trying to go for it regardless. JL 1 HP in the 1 versus 3 are now down for the count, and I believe they are fully eliminated.
Yeah.
Insane.
That is very rough indeed, getting fully eliminated this early on. But like we talked about, there are teams that will patrol the outer edges of that map looking to see if you've tried to revive, because you don't want to revive in the center. You want to revive on the outskirts where teams haven't likely dropped, so you can find some loot before the zone moves on in. And at this point, zone damage, it's healable for you. You don't immediately topple over if you stick in the purple a little bit too long. But teams like GG were actually the first ones to really pioneer the strategy where they would just patrol around and figure out where teams were looking to try and keep themselves out of sight, and therefore fed themselves into more danger. Unfortunately for WBG as well, I believe they're still like mid-recovery. Last time we looked, there were 2 players still in soul form, so they're being very, very careful. They've had 1 person revive to scout the area before giving the all clear, but that's now bitten into the time that they've had to be able to loot. and set themselves up for a Realm of Yang. And as you pointed out, running the Tianhai, running the Zai, they need that scaling. They need a Realm of Yang win, but so many teams are currently surpassing them.
Yeah, it's not looking too good. They have not been able to keep up in the scaling game. DRG now rotating over to join YZG, waiting for this Realm of Yang entrance to spawn in, as it's going to be spawning any second now. Here it is, jumping into that F ability for the Justina to essentially prevent themselves from being knocked away from that portal so they can make sure he's getting in there. And he does indeed. Now Bowder and YZG going to be going head-to-head in this Realm of Yang. We have that Tianhai grappling up. We've got 2 blue armors on the side of Bowder, not looking too spicy just yet. Going up against this very stacked up YZG team. TXG catching him on the drop down, the 1-2. XCM getting hit on the side by the dual halberds as well. Now forced to use that ultimate after having used the F. Going into that Vajra state, the jump over. He's going to try and knock him out of that Farrier mech, not able to do so. The quick 180 turn from CXZ denying the D-mech. XCM getting chopped at the toes, getting his toenails clipped by this turret, by the pole sword. It's not looking too good for him. He comes out of this form. He's not going to have any armor to work with either, as he went into this ultimate having lost all of it to begin with. And there it is, he goes down, and YZG are running this Yang.
Yeah, Syra V1 still on the field. So too is Kyle on ultimate though. Those Dash is looking to find a disruption, but Sleepy T gets sent into Stun Dazzle, and that is not going to allow any sort of heal and peel to be made onto this Kylan. The ultimate is done. The Kylan's health bar is so much lower. TXJs is still in full swing though. They just have to worry about winning this neutral. The numbers advantage here. The stone form just continuously chipping down all of that health. This is absolutely nothing that the Zip could have done. Turn it and you just get parried outright. YZG masterful showing up against that Tianhai, showcasing that you don't need to commit the Syra ultimate to stop the Tianhai shenanigans. That Farrier mech, as well as the Justina freezes coming through from QGG, just meant that there was no opportunity for Tianhai to find the opening that it was looking for. That in turn then delayed the Kylan ultimate because you didn't have the confidence of utilizing those dashes. There was no follow through. No player ever got grabbed. There was nothing that the Kylan could have been able to dash on top of. You just had to know that the Syra was holding onto her ultimate. You had to hold on to some ultimate to be able to win the second staging of that Yang fight, and it just benefits YZG much more because the Syra can help out her whole team as opposed to the Kylan, who plays very selfishly.
Yeah, he's that sort of main character vibe character, you know. He give me support. I mean, he can try. He can make an effort, but it's not the optimal peeler. It's not like it's not so like some other characters that exist. Like Takeda is probably it comes to mind, very versatile in that way where he can do both very, very well. And that's why he's been one of the staples of Naraka trios for such a long time. But here we've got a fight between OUG and Bowder. XEM going for a quick jump at MB, getting caught out of the air by the Yoda Hime ultimate there. Coming down, the Justina freeze as well as Sleepy T, 1 HP, gets popped on that zipping ultimate, just relentlessly being chased. OUG Jinyu in the hand. He's gonna get out of it, he's gonna tap out. OUG SS making it difficult for this Tianhai to get any value. The slam comes through. Baby Yu uses that F ability. He's going for the grabs. He's down a teammate. Jing is down for the count. Sleepy T is out of there. He's like, he grabs him. Ah, run away. Jumps away with a Jinyu. But nothing can be done right now. It looks as though Bowder is in for a very slow demise as the third party comes through. ASE with that Vermilion Bird's Might. It's going to make this very hard for them.
Yeah, ASE coming on through with that perfectly timed third party. Don't even have to overcommit either. It's just Han with that Zai V2 still holding on to both the Matari and the Syra ultimate. As we go into the zone, ASE chasing down all of the kills that they can find. Oh my goodness. Erudition and a Zai V2 at the same time. Yeah, that is not a fun place to be in the middle of, as we can see Firefly Cage. Looks like WPG were maybe trying to grab a little bit of cheeky rage charge there, as their wings are going to be clipped by Jing, coming on through with the back-to-back verticals from this longsword. Doesn't manage to find the uppercut extension that he was looking for, but he's still got his own Zai V2 to fall back onto. But the Justina freeze! Oh my goodness! Baby you! What a dash!
That is massive. And he's also got that blistering that's going to be even more valuable since they're fighting in the storm. Run in that ultimate, goes for the slam, gets one, but it's not looking good. He's going to have to come out of that ultimate sooner rather than later, but no, it's not to be. OUG, they're breaking the curse, Moxie. They MVP last game, and they're coming in, and they've got more than 1 point. Let's go.
Oh, no, WBG.
Oh,
WBG
no,
are just down to the lone Karumi, blue armor out into the zone. 2 eliminations, 63.6 points. They're a stone's throw away from match point, but it is falling apart. They're going to have to hope that the other team's attention is going to be diverted to other areas of the map for them to try to make a potential comeback. If they want this to be the round where they can cross into that MVP eligibility threshold, in the meantime, Baby U, unfortunately, despite finding that absolute clutch Justina V1, has fallen down to ASE, but WBG of the Karumi Tava are going for a little bit of cheeky revive shenanigans, as if they're having 2 players reviving that body, then it does revive at double speed. You get an increased speed on that bring back mechanic, and between that, it might be enough for them to make their way, but it's going to be a marathon, as Leo is probably going to be the next one to fall. The Karumi is able to utilize that tether and teleport his position over to Jing, and with the grapple and horizontal attack towards the end of it, preserving the momentum, WBG have done it!
They made it. They clutched it up. Oh my lord, that would have been very sad if they hadn't managed to accomplish that. Yeran, extremely low HP. I'm not sure where he is, but he might be going down in a second, but we'll have to touch back on that in a moment as we're waiting. YZG in the realm of Yang, awaiting a challenger. Syra, keeping that APM up, scale rushing from pillar to pillar. TXJ, he's got that golden fan ready to go. CXZ currently the kill leader with 5 eliminations under his belt, looking at very strong indeed. SR gonna be holding off on taking this spirit well again, extending the effective duration. And looks like WBG have fully recovered. Blueberries, but they're alive nonetheless.
Yeah, YCG, I was going to say, if they get it for free, like, they'll be happy, but they'll also be a little bit miffed because they need the elimination to get closer to a WBG. Currently up at ASE, last possible minute. Enter through the portal in the hopes of going up against a less stacked team. Unfortunately, they're going up against YCG, who are absolutely stacked to the teeth. TXJ with the legendary fan looking for the charge. The RMB is also trying to scale rush on through. Gets caught up by the erudition. Has to burn his ultimate activation to be able to frame through that stagger, and gets the stun dazzle to connect onto his mirror. And now that the other Syra has been concussed, can go much more aggressive off of setting on up for CXE to continue to follow on this chain of CC with the Farrier Mech cannon shot. Xiao Wen put in the blender. TXA understands the other Syra ultimate can last a little bit longer, keeps up the focus onto Mist as QGG now tries to find the Justina dashes but gets sent into the IV2, followed up by the erudition. He's out of the damage behind the pillar, but they're still hunting him down. The cannon shot peels the Zai away before the chain slice can come on through and start melting the Justina's health bar down. Really good peel comes out from YCG, but so far not a single elimination.
We do have Xiao Wen down there. They're trying desperately to salvage this, having it delayed their ultimate. Oh, Hun! Oh, his ultimate expires just then and he goes down. YZG coming back. They're coming in to play this game at TXJ, QGG, and CXZ. The 3-letter name crew. They are gaming right now. They have 9 eliminations, golden armor, golden weapons, and Draco Storm. They're fully set up to snowball this endgame. ASE, on the other hand, very somewhat similar composition. Unfortunately, now have Yang depletion, 9 eliminations. They're gonna want to have to find this. They don't want to find this fight sooner rather than later. They need to get it done. They can wait a little longer. They could wait out the Draco.
Dunk, look at the hero board at the moment. Were GG cheeky? Did they try and go for a no one can test second realm of Yang Portal and put a lone Tessifer?
Wait. No.
Only one of their players has Yang depletion.
Oh no. Is that actually that would explain why there's only one of them with Yang depletion actually. What? Or perhaps maybe they all three of them tried to get in and they just mistimed it. Maybe they couldn't get there in time. It's also possible.
That or they had a couple of eliminations that hadn't quite gone below the 2-minute Soul Bloom timer. But ASE very much having a timer in mind currently with that Yang depletion that they've been afflicted by. OUG trying to break away Baby U with this fan. Not looking for the damage, just looking to be able to set those Scale Rush charges a little bit faster than some of the other weapons. Missed, we knew he had Erudition previously. Not going to be able to find the lockdown that they need, and that was an overabundance of ultimates invested on the side of ASE. OUG also not able to get out of that fight without investing all of their powerhouses of utilities. And Baby U now, though, getting to kite. Everyone from ASE fell for the bait, and OUG's 3 players converge on them one by one. Xiaowen a little bit behind in terms of that rotation, is now the sole remaining player for ASE, and he is in a very precarious position. Sandwiched in between the rocks. Yes, they don't spot him out, but that zone damage is already going to be chunking his health bar down. And he's shot himself. He drops down from the roof with an RMB from the staff. Gets a blue armor reset inside the building. Baby U, he might have purple armor, but that zone damage ignores the shields and goes directly through to his health bar. And suddenly he is in danger. It has to be the Yoto that steps up to the plate and peels for him as Baby U breaks away.
Oh my goodness, they actually griefed him. He was like, you gonna do this to me? I'm gonna grief you, boy. And look at that. Jinyu's gonna go down too. OUG fully griefed by Xiaowen. Mission accomplished, buddy. There it is. ASE taking them down with them, and OUG SS now met with the gatekeepers at the edge of the storm. Forced to use the Ferrier mech, but it's not gonna help. He's going down too. And Xiaowen, the master griefer. Actually,
they were about to hit 60. They were about to hit 60 points.
Oh my
If they'd been able to keep themselves alive and get a couple of picks here and there off of endgame fights and scraps, then potentially that would have been OUG qualifying into MVP eligibility, but no. They get griefed out by a lone surviving Xiaowen from ASE.
Oh, that's a tilter. If I was OUG, I would not be happy about that one. But then again, they kind of can. They can blame themselves to some extent. They did greed a little bit too long. They stuck around in the zone. They went back to go shopping. You know, like you could have just gone, rotated to the safe zone and done a little bit of shopping later on. But they went for it, not anticipating the revive and Xiaowen coming in for the grief. But he definitely made it worthwhile for himself. He can be glad that he griefed them there, I suppose. Oh, we're heading over to this Spirit Well. We have SR and OA fighting it out. Two-Tick and his teammate both getting locked down by this Tesla Ultimate, and now the Viper V3 gonna come on through. Two-Tick and oh my god, Meng gets bursted down. No chance to use that ultimate or the F ability as he used it early. He wasn't able to iframe, wasn't able to do anything whatsoever. But YZG gonna be coming in with this third party, and now OA is absolutely cooked. They are chefed. QGG's got hit by this Tesla ultimate, but he's pretty happy. He doesn't really care about this one as he is in that mech. YZG looking to secure this Spirit Well for themselves.
The stress I have right now, my shoulders like all the way up to my ears because that Spirit Well was still within Moonbane radius. Thankfully for everybody involved, Moonbane is merciful today and does not cut through into that spacing, but this Spirit Well still has not been capped, and all of these teams are going to be jumping into the fray. That mech has been removed. It is all up for grabs Viper ultimate comes on through as this one breaking away. This is the V3, so everybody has to break away if they want to be able to escape that silence effect, and that's going to buy time for the dome to pop. However, the Spirit Well still not grabbed by the side of SR. YZG chiming in. TXJ showcasing the merciless havoc. Movement might have been merciful, but YZG very much not going to be letting any team escape the wrath of that. Soul Jade coming on first. Mulch ultimate also gets invested. TXA playing directly in the middle of it. Not going to have to worry about getting sent up into those wind walls. Does have to worry about potentially getting shoved into them by the Furon coming on through from that Cicada V3, but he's got that treetop. He can clamber up into that verticality, drop down with a Syra ultimate, but we do have one set of stun hitting onto the Syra, which is going to be putting pause to that V1 coming on out. With the zone moving away, YZG going to be the only ones in position to lock up this Spirit Well, as every single team in the area spotted that, okay, YZG have won the battle. We just have to try and run and disengage, and maybe we can win the war as long as we don't take a fight once Mystic Might and all of these ultimates now come back into the mix, because TXA, he's hunting.
Oh, he is indeed. So is QGG with that Justina ultimate, having had his ultimate active when they got the buff, giving him a lot of dashes, able to chase down this player and eliminate the remaining member of OA, I believe it was. TE trying to salvage this. They don't really have cooldowns. Looks as though they did just scrap it out with WBG, but now recovering the best they can, only with 2 blue armors, not looking too good. But oh wait, 3-3-0 with the armor pierce takes down SR Junks, and now Zhao, caught up by the Tessa ultimate, is not looking good from the scale rush up. He's trying to disengage, but he's run right into the clutches of TE and quickly taken down. SR fully eliminated Moxie. This was their chance. They had 9 elims, but they're down, along with ASE, who also had 9 eliminations. And it's looking up for YZG right here. 11 kills. This is looking pretty good. If they get even more, they could very easily get into that match point threshold of 70 points. TXJ avoiding that Tessa ultimate, very nicely done, holding on to this real estate with that merciless havoc. They still have this buff for another 50 seconds though, so they need to try and keep this, you know, keep it topped up, but not fully get it until that buff expires, because you cannot have more than 1 buff at a time.
GG's making a play. They got 1 parry onto TXJ. Vartra's grip came into the mix for TXJ to be able to hold on to that staff, so Merciless Havoc still going to be in the mix. CJS, though, gets the parry and weapon removal from the hands of QGG, who hops into that Farrier mech. Saw his health bar going lower and lower and lower. Mystic Point still, like you said, going to be on the board for YZG with that damage reduction coming on through, but the Venom tip on those repeater crossbows melting down the health bar of the player stuck within this mech. Unfortunately for YCG, or rather fortunately for them, it's only going to be done if the players are inside of the dome with them, and that does leave them susceptible to a lot of damage coming through from that staff soldier. GG's LXL drops on in with the Viper V1, sends them directly behind those wooden barriers. TXA now makes the play. Mystic Might has expired from the hands of YZG, so they can try and cap out the Spirit Well now in full. As TXA with this Syra V1 beams down LXM. GG still in the area, trying to keep themselves present on this point so that it does not get capped out and allow YCG to go back into that double ultimate cycle rotation. Another Viper ultimate has come out onto the field. This time it's going to be from the side of TE, who drop into the late recontest. Pete gets frozen on up, has to invest the test combo breaker, sends out the ultimate to the Wuchen teleport from TE as they get lower and lower and lower. YZG don't turn their attention onto them. They're still scrapping on out with GG with the Merciless Havoc getting so much damage, as well as that knockback potential. CXE has gone down in the interim though, and WBG moving into position are going to make it incredibly hard for that revive to come on first. Swift cut going to be showcased for Yiran with that katana, but they're not going to be holding that position for long. They see the TE with that Tessa Viper Wuchan put themselves back into that Spirit Well, and the Tianhai team not wanting to risk in case it's that V3 back on off to make sure that the Tianhai is not within LOS of the ultimate. You can utilize the Vajra state as we've still got Spirit Well capped, but the fight has moved away from it again.
It has. What is going on right now, Moxie? This is just the most back and forth fight we've seen for a while today. The 3-3-0 with that musket, ADSing, trying to find those hits. He's got that armor pierce. Can he find it? Can he find the shot? Desperately throwing down these wind walls. He's gonna go uncontested, but it looks as though the spirit well, there it is, finally despawns. No team was able to capture the spirit well and claim the buff for themselves. Unfortunate to say the least. YZG now down a member, having lost that Ferrier, unable to resurrect him amongst all of the chaos. GG standing strong, 3-man strong. TE with 2, YZG with 2, and WBG with 3. It's looking pretty good for WBG, I must say, as they do have that Tianhai ultimate. They're gonna have that Zai ultimate with all the fire damage that comes with it up and running by this by the time that this zone fully closes in. YZG still holding strong at the top of this structure. The Syra ultimate ready to go. They have that Merciless Havoc and the Dragon Roar, so they could definitely control the space if they manage to get down there and get those Jades working for them. But it's gonna be hard because if WBG and GG are holding it, like, is holding on to it for dear life right now. Yeran going up and down, pulling out the cannon. Let's see if he can find a little bit of poke damage, but gets grappled out of the air. Yeran going up again, trying to find something. He's trying to stay out of line of sight, but he's not able to get in the air just yet. He's struggling. He's struggling so hard. Yeran going up and down.
They burned the Kurumi ultimate when they moved and try and go for that last-minute contest cap of Spirit Well. It was instantaneous. WBG, though, they're not playing to MVP this game. They're not playing to win. They just need to get that last couple of points to get over match point threshold. Same thing for YZG. Currently, zone is going to close. Yiran now decides to make his move, but there's so much CC. The Tessera ultimate. Yiran walks into zone damage. The health bar gets lower and lower. The lack of the Kurumi ultimate is currently being felt. He hasn't been able to find a slam down to buy himself the health back off of the Tianhai V2. YCG make that move, a last minute play from TXJ, a Syra ultimate at the last possible moment, and that is going to be a draw. Have the teams done it? I believe YCG just jumped into first place off of the back of that one, and I'm pretty sure that they only hit 67 points. So, Dunk, unfortunately, I'm pretty sure no team was able to cross the threshold. Like, if you're WBG right now, that's gonna be a slam desk.
There goes from here, but here we are. Game number 6, ladies and gentlemen. This is a make or break. YZG in amongst the chaos. All of these players packed into this tiny little spot. There isn't enough loot here for all of you guys. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, YZG, we talked about it. They lobbied. DRG,
oh my goodness.
JL, they all drop good directly onto YZG. And, I mean, JL, they had TXJ as a teammate formerly, so one of them probably knows the guy's drop locations by heart without the binder needed. And it is paying dividends. YZG immediately, all 3 of their players, not a single elimination to the name, sent off to the Soul Altar. What a warm welcome to Morrisile.
Indeed, a warm welcome. Here we are in Celestra OA. Oh my goodness, Toothpick. We swapped to him and he's immediately dead. PP eating that EU soul break. OUG just sending them, just fully releasing right now. Wuchen caught out of the air, getting juggled by the staff, and OUG making quick work of this team. OA down for the count. They're going to have to go and res elsewhere. Now, moving over to SS1 and GG. Zwan extremely low health, but he's still fighting to the last, and he actually clutches it with the Soul Bloom pickup as CJS goes down. Beautiful parry coming out from LXM, might be able to turn it around, but 1 versus 3 situation, it's not looking good. And I believe he doesn't have a melee weapon. Slap them! It's not gonna work.
That is unfortunate. Yeah, so one thing that we didn't talk about because of the amount of Viper Tessa Wuchen teams, the kills are going to be so split. Like, this is another thing that teams can do to cover their backs, right? If all of them squirrel away kills to make sure that there's no team that's top heavy in the lobby, they remove the chance of YZG being able to log enough eliminations and get MVP. So, very smart plays coming on out. OUG going to be dropping a Moonbane directly over money spot. So, Artisan's Grove going to be fully locked down. Going to have to win out these fights very quickly, though. They went head-to-head against the Wuchen team. We just saw the teleport come off into the mix. But SR, because of those nerfs to the distance that Wuchen can travel, not out of the woods entirely. They're going to have to kite all the way into Celestia and try and lose their pursuers amongst all of the scenery that is provided by these alleyways. As we can see that YZ, oh my goodness, they rezzed around Shipwreck, and JL now are directly behind them. TXJ, it looks like, has split away from the rest of his team and is drawing JL in a wild goose chase in the hopes of, with that Matari ultimate, prolonging the kite as long as possible and buying his other teammates a chance of safety to get away, to put more distance between themselves and JL in the hopes of being able to recover this. YZG are trying to play the long con, but if JL have anything to say about it, this is going to be a very short story in the passage of YZG's time on Morris Isle. Indeed, the Matari was not able to kite super far, and we're going to have to wait and see where the rest of YZG's players ended up.
Yeah, I think it was just they had to let him go. They had to leave him up as a sacrifice for the greater good. Cut off the arm to save the body, and they may be able to bring him back later on. At WBG now, up in the north, up next to Sunwing, SS1 trying to kite away. Water fully grappling, Year-Round chasing after him, but not very much health to work with. And we'll see if they catch up to him. For now, we're going over to TE and ASE. Peak beaming down Mist, being juggled around. He's trying to get up off the floor, finally able to do so. The Viper ultimate is going to come out. The Tumult there, he is going to be able to iframe with the Tumult F. Very nicely done, denying the pressure from ASE. The parry comes through. Peak gets hit by a huge amount of damage, but immediately able to combo break away. But ASE, they've turned the tables. There it is, the Justina freeze coming through, and Peak goes down. TE sent to the soul realm, the spirit world, and ASE are 3 kills richer, 3 eliminations under their belt. Now, WBG looks as though they closed out their fight here in Sunwing, sitting on only 1 elimination. One Tumulcle for 1 kill. I'm not sure that's how it's worth. Send it. Yeah.
So 2 rebirths. Ooh, both the Siren and the Takeda are down Soulblim. Oh, not Soulblim, down Rebirth. That is rough.
Not ideal.
Because WBG, like, they're still ever so close to that match point threshold, but we've seen the likes of GG literally be 0.5 of a point off qualifying into MVP eligibility on game number 7. So no confirmation that WBG are going to be able to hit those 70 points necessary to elevate themselves alongside YZD, who in the meantime, by the way, were able to get the hands on a Rebirth Charm. So TXJ is back on Morris Isle. YZG, 1 teammate richer, is now going to be looking at SR, potentially going head-to-head against OUG. Jinyu comes on for both Viper ultimates going off at the same time. Which one was first? Jinyu is the one that gets CC'd out both by the Viper and that Tesla ultimate. Wuchen investing those wind walls, however, will be able to peel for Jinyu, and now it's going to be SR on the back foot, down one of their players. Rico sent packing. Tessa not having both the combo breaker and an ultimate cast, going to be trying to turn it around with that urn grab up, but you can see that OUG have 3 players against 1. It's just a matter of time, and they will be able to find the elimination and the team fight one.
That is rough. SR, it is just, it's not their day today. They did not come out and have the day that we all expected from them, unfortunately. Sitting in the middle of the pack, you know, it's rough. It's rough out there. It's still salvageable, theoretically. You know, it is still salvageable. However, it's going to be a very steep cliff to climb. But the YZG are playing it slow, looting around, but that might quickly turn into a fight. So you've got ASE and JL all close together. What's going on? It looked like JL Kukutu was part of ASE, but no. I was a little confused there. YZG immediately drawing the attention of ASE. They're going to be running after them, grappling away instantly. Looks as though they a weakness is sniffed out. I don't think they're going to opt to go for this one.
JL is still behind them.
It's a bit sus. I'm not sure about this one. There's a lot of things to kite around as well. Not sure they want to go for this fight. Plus, Realm of Yang is going to be spawning in relatively soon. And perhaps they'd much rather go and prepare for that one instead.
Yeah,
As,
I mean, ASC also running that Justina Syra, even with a Viper, 100% wanting to boss trap for Realm of Yang. Like, Justina and Syra as a combo together inside that Realm of Yang, especially, like, because Viper, like Tianhai, right, struggles into Realm of Yang because of the pillars. But if these players are forced to hide behind the pillars to dodge out of the Viper stun, then it forces them to have to hold those positions into the Justina and then the Syra follow-up. So it's always a rough position for you to be into, especially if the Viper understands that you're not going to find the eliminations of your ultimate, but much more so put a pressureful position that the enemy team has to run into. YZG, though, they're going to understand that the reins are a little bit looser now that Realm of Yang is going to be spawning on up. You can see, too, like, they go over the bounty scroll. They don't want to be reverse bountied with their position being given away, but now that a lot of the stronger teams are going inside those portals, they can relocate into places like Eventide and hope to pick up some of the loot that they're lacking.
Yeah, they definitely need to get scaled up sooner rather than later if they have a chance of MVPing in this game. WBG up against JL in the Realm of Yang here. Yeran scale rushing in, looking to find an opening. The RMB comes through, immediately consolidating onto the Matari, but Matari, able to get that ultimate off, is responding, dashing through them all. Yeran now in the ultimate, going to be setting out the beams. The Tumulk ultimate gets committed, trying to save Jing. The Takeda getting immediately focused down now with that ultimate, is going to be chasing down these players. Matari is again the focus. Kukutu trying his best to prevent them from doing so, but it's not that easy. Syra is versatile, but is not the peeling machine that other characters can function as. Xiao Zhao, though, with that Zai ultimate, looks as though he's going to be taking up that role, having it cut down Leo. It's not looking good. JL looking pretty strong right now, but as I say that, Yeran takes down one of those members. One Fang goes down, and now the 2 versus 1. Xiao Zhao is going to be able to close this out, I believe, but Jing is just... there's nothing he can do at that point. The gold focus hold in your face, what do you do against this? This is just, yeah, unfortunately not able to do anything.
That's really rough as well for YZG, because, like, JL have been the team that have pursued them the most. They have been relentlessly chasing down YZG, and again, part of it could be the fact that Wan Fong was on a team with TXJ. He probably knows how TXJ likes to try and recover his games, the paths that he likes to take to rotate. So having that understanding of the way that YZG are likely going to be playing, because TXA is a very good IGL to listen to, is going to give JL a very good insight into what they can do to circumvent any momentum that YZG want to be able to pick up. And now that they've got their hands on a Vermilion Birdsmite, they're going to be getting incredibly aggressive for the next 2 minutes or so. As we can see that, unfortunately for WBG too, they didn't find enough eliminations off of that Realm of Yang fight to be able to qualify into the match point threshold either, so they're going to have to revive on up at a Soul Altar, go head-to-head with another team, and potentially get knocked out of the lobby without hitting the 70 points.
That would be really bad for them. Isn't they need to salvage the game. So does GG, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. JL taking them down in the Realm of Yang, that's really rough. Considering that JL is currently sitting at the bottom of the leaderboard as well, it's just the scrappers at the bottom came out to play. You know, nah, you guys ain't getting a match point. No, sir, not on my watch. DRG looking at pretty solid. 4 kills, not too shabby. But the Vermilion Birdsmite, triple purple armor, going through the rotations, and it looks as though YZG is just very happy to just chill. I think the last we saw, he was sat in a bush.
Yeah.
Just bush gaming. Tactical bush gaming. As they do not want to get caught out in the open during this time period. During this time of the game, we have 3 teams with Yang depletion, 4 teams with buff, including the buff from the Spirit Well. So if you don't want to risk anything, you really have to just stay out of sight, out of mind. Otherwise, you can immediately get lobbied.
So the worst thing for YZG right now would be if TE came upon them with Mystic Might, because that would instantly give away the position. However, we can say that Mystic Might was picked up a little bit before the Realm of Yang wins, since it was off of a Spirit Well, so that has since worn off. And now it's going to be a kite coming on through from OA. They're not held within the scrutiny of having that Yang depletion, so they don't have to stick this fight up against JL. And knowing that JL had that buff, they did not want to take it against them. GG, unfortunately, not going to be unbound by that contingency. They have to take this no matter how undergeared they are. And that's a lot of undergearing. That's blue armor still on your Sire. 330 is potentially going to get melted until he can get the stun dazzle off onto Cuckoo instead. JL suddenly understanding they need to lose this fight and quickly, otherwise the Million Birds might will have worn off. GG at the perfect opportunity. Roll up onto a JL team who could not afford that fight to stretch out and had to take it on the chin.
Damn, that is clutch, to say the least. GG, very happy. WBG, not so much. I believe that they still, it looks as though they're going to be allowing themselves to go down in the zone here. I mean, giving the money to the rest to that one survivor. But what's going on here? Are we all three going down? Oh, no, okay. Thank God. I was going to say, what's happening right now? Did we forget what's going on? Yeran having that ultimate is going to be able to survive. I was very worried for a second.
I mean, still cause for concern. SS1 are very close nearby.
They are, actually. I think they know what's happening.
Oh, they saw the Sire Beam.
Oh, no.
They saw the Sire Beam. They know that the Sire ultimate is not on the table. And this is just going to be relentless pursuit. There's the grapple. It's the Temi too. If he throws out a Wisp, which just commits the ultimate, Yuran is done. He just has to try and make it into Celestra, but he's got Fist Blades, not a fan. So he's going to be going so slow, and he gets trapped. There's the F1 invested, puts him to the rooftop. But unfortunately, he's still absolutely surrounded. He's schmoving. He tries to break onto the wall, but he doesn't have the speed to be able to hit the scale rush in time. And he is going to get absolutely smacked down. And unfortunately for WBG Dunk, we said it could be the worst possible case scenario. It was the worst possible case scenario. You don't need to be good at maths to know that 64.6 plus 2 does not equal 70 or a match point eligibility.
Yep, that is... that's rough. We're gonna go next. It's still winnable, right? Still winnable. Just keep that mentality. Still winnable. Still winnable.
As long as YZG don't win now.
Yeah, as long as that does not happen. But considering that they haven't really done all that much during this game, that is feasible. They haven't gotten the ball rolling. I don't believe they've gotten any kills so far. And so it's only looking like a possible eventuality. We've got a bit of a scrap off over the Spirit Well currently. No team is really opting to go for the Realm of Yang contest right now. It's as though no one really wants to risk anything at the moment. OUG getting spotted out. Oh no.
Ooh. JL gonna be on the receiving end of that one. Always T-Tick comes on through with the massive CC. And they have been able to instantly get back another Viper V through because they had another player stick the landing and cap out that Spirit Well, but we were looking at T-Tick's POV. And now everyone who's close nearby is going to be a very dangerous position indeed. There's the Viper V3. It's going off at the same time as another one. Everyone breaking LOS behind the tree so they can still throw in those skills and ultimates. The Tessa Charm comes on into the mix as well. RMB comes on out from T-Tick with that Hanksaw doing so much damage to those health bars. As well as looking for the F connection. JL lose another player. DRG are able to find that one off of getting a free Realm of Yang, considering everyone else was on the Spirit Well. And to that point, I wonder if it's because they knew that, like, if YTG were behind, the way that they would look to recover that game would be looting up from the Spirit Well, as opposed to Realm of Yang. And so everyone was much more focused on that position and griefing YTG's potential comeback instead.
Yeah. We did see them in the mix as well. They turned up, saw what was going on. Oh, hell no.
Yeah, they noped out. Didn't need a Wuchen teleport to disengage that fight. They just about turned and walked the other way.
Yeah, absolutely. They did not want the smoke there. And it looks as though OA are in a similar position. They have this buff, but getting focused down. DRG coming in, they do not want to fight this out. DRG having gotten that Realm of Yang for free, picking up the Draco Storm, very happy to just get in there and fight anyone they can. but haven't really been able to find that much value just yet. YZG now, having picked up one elimination, I think they were able to pick up one from that scrap close to the Spirit Well. What is going on?
Look, when you're waiting for endgame,
they're just keeping themselves entertained at the edge of the zone.
Entertained, yeah.
Yep.
They get spotted out though. Oh no, it's DRG! They get spotted out by DRG! Oh, this is the worst possible scenario. Because that's a Draco Storm team, and you can already see WX98 moving in on that flank, potentially looking to cut off YZG.
Wait, OA's here too. Wait, they don't want it. They don't want to fight. They're looking for OA instead. Wait, what's going on? I'm so confused. I think perhaps because it's the mirror of very similar composition, they don't want to
saw one person and thought it was maybe the team that was running from them, maybe?
No, I think because when they saw YZG, I think they're like, okay, it's the same comp as ours. It's Trio's family meta, essentially, right now. Or perhaps they already knew who their target was, and they were chasing after that person and realized that that person was not part of this team, and then kept looking and eventually found them and then took them down.
Either way, YCG, that is a huge sigh of relief coming from them. The power, like the panic that must have come through in the comms when they were just like minding their own business, picking up their silly Darktide coins, and then you run into a Draco Storm team. Ooh, I would not want to be a YCG player right then. But apparently,
it looks as though they have no interest in fighting them.
Yeah, DRG gonna be moving on over to see whether or not they can sky someone out. I mean, even if they knew that it was like YZG, right? They've also been able to keep a track of the kill feed. They're the only other team running this composition too, so they would know that YZG are down so many eliminations currently that they're not a threat. So if they were YZG, then they don't have that threat to them of potentially having an MVP in this round. Or at least they're not in a good position to do so. Which means that DRG don't have to worry about that one. They can just continue to make sure that they're focusing down the similar 7 eliminations that they have.
It's also possible that because they know that that's the only other Zai team in the lobby, that they don't want to fight them because it's counterintuitive. You know, if you're the unique team, we've talked about it a lot today. If you're the unique team, then you're going to get focused. They don't want to get the focus themselves. So yeah, it's probably a mixture of a few different things. And
it's gonna be so funny though, because they're like on 60 points currently right now, Dunk. If they let YZG live because they want to make sure that there's another side that takes the heat off of them, and YZG start coming through eliminations late in the game, and MVP, and end the day, ooh, there's gonna be some teams that aren't happy with DRG.
Yep, that is very, very true.
Being WBG.
Yeah, they would certainly be kicking themselves if that ended up being the case. But so far, that's not the case. One kill under their belt is not MVP material just yet. We'll have to see if they can pick up more going forwards. But they've still got one on blue armor. I think they might be rotating over to the Spirit Well, see if they can find some action there. All of these teams looking to do exactly the same thing. Not very explosive right now. We still have 24 players left alive right now. And this could spell a rather packed endgame unless everything just goes boom right now. Which, oh my goodness, because of that Moonbane, could very easily be the case. Oh no!
You know what? Moonbane heard that if you want Spirit Well, you have to be on that point, and he was like, you know what? I'm gonna treat myself today. I want a set of legendary ammo. Oh my goodness. Triple Moonbane AoE covering the Spirit Well all at once. SR are currently playing a bullet hell. June. Oh my. The amount of damage that SR almost took.
Okay. We're taking risks right now, and I can respect it. SR, they just don't care right now. It's just like, oh, if we don't get this, we can't come back. So we gotta go for it. And they get their hands on the Draco Storm, and this could actually be what they need. They could snowball this end zone. They could get an MVP. They could get a big game, and who knows? They might be in contention for to win the day. or at least come higher up on the scoreboard by the end of it. So we'll see. Maybe this is what they needed. TE, it looks as though they might be the focus of SR. Peak. Ooh, wait a second, Jianan. Are we going to catch him? The Tumult F has already been utilized. Junks goes for the silence but doesn't find it. The Tessa ultimate is going to come through. The Syra ultimate to respond though. The Tumult ult now as well. Jianan gets charmed up by the Tessa ultimate, but no follow-up. Unfortunately, Peak is doing an excellent job of peeling. However, Youth is also peeling, so they have 0 ultimates. TE now been put in a very dangerous position. As soon as these ultimates expire, they are going to be very vulnerable. So they need to try and put as much distance between them and SR as possible. Heading over to this tower, they might be able to use it to kite around, but they will likely be falling soon if SR continues this chase. And considering the storm is moving in, they can't continue to use it.
Yeah, always actually able to pick out one of the players from TE. In the meantime, Jin still going around the back of that ballista tower on a grapple into the safety of the zone. Also has another Viper V free to pull the cord on if he feels the emergency arises, or if they want to get aggressive. There it is. All of the players have been chased out into the open, away from the trees, which were a little bit too close to the edge of that zone, so there is nothing to break LOS. You can see off in the distance, Forbidden Seal has been popped, and so the ultimates will be barred from play over that side. I can only imagine it was popped by YCG, who wanted to have a little bit of cover to put between themselves and the team that picked on up that buff. As we can see, everybody is trying to take cover into the safety and security of this Forbidden Seal. Handshake very much in play. It doesn't matter what composition you're on, as long as you wait out Draco Storm to be done. And that's where we're going to be starting to see these teams getting much more aggressive than they currently are. YCG burning that Karumi Tower too, also putting themselves all the way out towards the edges of that zone, not wanting to get spotted on out. They've been able to pick themselves up 2 sets of purple armor. Still having 1 blueberry though, and that's instantly going to give away the state of this team, that they're down in terms of that scaling and vulnerable to any team that turns onto them. And when you're a team like GG and you're this close to match point threshold, you're going to be looking for every vulnerable target possible. SR now the target of focus, coming on through from the cannon fire and the longsword verticals from the side of GG. Moonbane in play. SR with no choice but to put themselves directly into the midst of it and kite over towards where that spirit well was, so they could get the armor reset and keep themselves in this lobby. As now that that's done and the next spirit well spawns on up, here comes the scrap yet again.
Indeed it does. Here we are. SR, SS1, DRG, YZG. Every team is looking to get a piece right now. Dongxing going to the sky with the meteor. I'm going to try and make a little bit of space with that golden armor and golden weapon. He's going to be doing a lot of damage if he pulls the trigger on that ultimate. But for the moment, he is biding his time. DRG, WX98 trying to make a way in, but immediately getting sent packing by this Syra ultimate. SR now trying to consolidate on the spirit well. They haven't made much progress with the capturing, but they might be able to hold on to it for a little bit longer if no team comes back up to contest them. We do have so many players right now, 18 people all packed into this very goofy terrain situation endgame. And it could go in any direction at the moment. YZG currently holding on to that high ground, the ultimate high ground at the moment. Perhaps the best spot for them, but they need to get some kills if they're going to hope to try and end the day off of this game. They need to go in and they need to get something happening. Otherwise, you know, they can't win just off of placement. It's not going to happen. We have SS1 on 10 eliminations, SR on 4, OA on 5, DRG on 7, and GG on 3. They are sitting on only 1 elimination so far, so they need to get a minimum of 10 points and win the lobby, or potentially get 12 kills and come second. Otherwise, it's gonna be very, very it's just not gonna happen. We will be going into a game at number 7.
Question is, how many teams are going to be accompanying YZG alongside that MVP eligibility? GG and DRG are going to be hoping that they can clamber up into that position. Both of these teams wanting to be able to control that spirit well. 3-3-0 with the pulsar charging and recharging up that scale rush. Just threatening all of that space out so that no one tries to collapse onto the players of GG. There's the scale rush attempt directly onto DRG, as we've got a Tessa ultimate coming in off. YZG got spotted on the low side of that cliff and are now going to have to clamber themselves up onto that mid ground look for these eliminations. QGG comes on through with that Zai V2. The Matari ultimate also going to be popped, not just to refresh the Comet, but also to navigate outside of that Viper ultimate that was attempted to control the spacing. Wuchen teleport gets forced. YZG still having the Zai ultimate in play as they look to try and grapple up and figure out where that Wuchen teleported up to, but unfortunately it doesn't seem like they were able to make up the distance, and with the zone moving them further and further up towards this cliffside, as well as moving further and further away from that spirit well, DRG have been able to get their hands onto it. The ultimate cycle and the tempo is all in this team's control. They're so close to hitting that match point threshold. Just a couple of more eliminations will do. There's one onto SR's Rico. Potentially there's the second onto CXE, but no, it gets stolen away by SS1's Water. DRG are not going to be happy about that one, but Dunk, it's looking like DRG might be able to contest SS1's play for MVP, and I feel like we're going another game for sure.
We absolutely are, Moxie. There is like, is non-zero, but it's very, very close to being zero chance of YZG coming away with an MVP this game. As I say this, QGG getting caught by that Tumulk Sand Wisp in the air and just getting shot out of the sky. Now alone TXJ healing up on the cliffside is going to be tasked with just a mountain of a task to try and clutch this up, but I don't think it's feasible whatsoever. DRG looking to try and run this lobby. The Draco Storm are doing so much for them. The Zai ultimate still in play. This is the second round of Zai ultimate. Zhao now going down at the edge of the zone, getting knocked into it. The fire damage as well. GG sitting on the high ground, sharing it with SS1, currently trying to stay as far away from the Draco Storm as possible, but they are going to be forced to move any second now. OA2-Tick being falling down to the bottom, DRG contesting it, going up to the top ropes. 2-Tick only with the V3, not that threatening at this point. There's so much going up and down. SS1 trying to hold on to the last along with GG, but the DRG waiting at the bottom of the cliff. The blender, the dragon smoothie is about to be engaged. Here it is, Kakashi going up. The Syra ultimate is ready to go. Oh, wait a minute. If he doesn't get it off and he goes down, this could be horrible. But no, I believe he is all right. The Syra ultimate being held until the very last second is looking as though and no one's going to get that first place, Moxie.
Yeah, 69.6 points picked up for GG. One more elimination and they'll be able to put themselves into match point threshold. YZG make a last-minute play to come on through with a couple of eliminations and deny some of these other teams from crossing that threshold. GG were able to find it. DRG, ooh, that was an exhale. I believe they picked up the MVP. But like you said, Dunk, because we had so many Syra still in play, you can see the clasp of the hands. They're trying to figure out whether or not they got enough points to cross past that 70. We know that GG did, but it is going to be a knife edge for DRG to be in that same boat.
It's going to happen at the beginning of the game. I think pre-first Yang we'll be able to tell whether or not it's going to go to game 8.
I mean, it's Starry Night Holoroth too, which means increased Firefly spawn. YZG right off of the rip yet again get dropped on by two teams. Have to try and find any elimination that they can. TXJ doesn't want to take the fight just yet. Just getting a scared of what composition that they were up against before being able to buy the space for that team to start looting on first. We can see ASE also in the area, as GG not going to be clean in that drop location either. They're going to be running directly into WBG. WBG here already got their hands on two weapons. Going in 2 versus 1 against this Tianhai with that pulse up. You can hear the stone form ringing on off, and with the ballista coming into play as well. So often GG are the ones in that hot seat, but now they're the ones getting inflated by the fire tick. And it's falling apart at the start for GG. This is what WBG needed. 2 eliminations, soon to be 3. And that should get themselves over the 70-point threshold if they continue with this pace.
Indeed, and you know what I saw in the kill feed? YZG taking down a member of TE, but it looks as though CXZ got caught down below, up against the wall, not able to escape, and he himself goes down as well. YZG now gonna have to try and salvage this. JL and ASE all scrapping it out atop this this little formation right now. This is a lot of people. There's ASE, JL, TE, and YZG all in close proximity, but I believe YZG taking that kill and then losing a player have just pieced out. They do not want to risk anything, because if they have their game sort of cut short or slowed down, they don't really have a chance of getting MVP.
Yeah, I mean, good decision. Very smart, considering the play that they lost was that Wu Chen. So if they'd lost either the Viper or the Tessa, Wu Chen would not have been able to be there and teleport them out right now from a situation like the one that One Thing is putting these poor players from T into. Double grab comes on through from the TN High in that V2. This time around, it's just a single onto ASE's Han, but it's into a bow shot follow through. Now he's gonna go into his own V2. One Thing just behind that tree is going to have enough cover until now. Grab comes on out. JL going to try and make sure it doesn't go into a double grab. We can actually see that Miss with the Kylan ultimate is going to be putting the pressure out onto this TN High too. Thong going lower and lower. Or rather, this is ASE's Miss with the Kylan ultimate being able to keep a track and follow up onto ASE's Hans TN High ultimate. And it looks like JL, just like YZG, decided to cut their losses and run. But one player go down, then the entire team, as here comes TE, who returned back to the crime scene, see that the TN High ultimate is down, and converge into absolutely fatality.
Oh my goodness. Mist, unfortunately, cannot do anything about this situation, as Xiao Wen in the distance already disengaging. It's not worth it. Let's just get out of here. Live to fight another day. They can come back later on. They did manage to get a kill. You know, one. It's not too bad, I suppose. JL on 4. WBG on 5. But let's take a look at YZG right now. They've managed to loot up a little bit. Purple armor for TXJ. That's not the focus for the moment. The focus is Bowder fighting in the caves over here up against OA. OA with only white armors. It looks as though this is their recovery spot. They've decided to come over here and try and recover their game after having died and come back to life. But look, we've got a fight coming out between OUG and YZG. TXJ caught up against this door, but there's actually a perfect place to ult right now, because there aren't very many ways to leave this place. There's 2 ways in, 2 ways out. And the Wu Chen is
now with a Wu Chen teleport.
Yeah, 3 ways if you include Wu Chen.
But unfortunately, that Wu Chen teleport has been removed, and OUG still having Justina dashes to be able to play around with, have been able to collapse onto YCG's location. What a parry from TXJ! Man is an owl confirmed. Unfortunately, he does get frozen up by another Justina dash, and they have lost CXZ. So even if the Wu Chen teleport was up into the mix, it would not be currently able to employ. Tessa, still though, going to be standing into that enchantment coming on through. Combo break as well. It's going to be able to cover TXJ. They're able to turn onto OUG with enough time left to stick the revive onto CXE, which is absolutely crucial given the fact that he'd already burned his rebuff charm.
That was beautifully done. I was just watching so intently at what TXJ was doing this fight. This was very, very clean. So many different, so many little finesses that he did in this fight. Beautifully done. The fan, wind, the LMBs after the dodges on fan, using it perfectly, spacing extremely well. That was beautiful Naraka play right there. It's not like a flashy highlight, but it's just really clean Naraka. Lovely to see. And if that's that's setting the tone for the rest of the game, I could definitely see YZG coming away with the MVP in this lobby. And speaking of, here they are engaging onto yet another team, DRG. The Tumulk, I believe, getting absolutely cooked right now. Forced into a very bad spot. No, it was a Tessa. What did I say? Tumulk. I don't know why I thought that was a Tumulk, but it's a Tessa. Dongxing teleporting away. His Wu Chen is going to be able to take them to safety. They do have Viper and the Tessa ultimate, I believe. Is it going to be enough to deter this onslaught? TXJ getting caught by the Tessa ultimate, now popping ultimate himself. Is he going to be able to cleanse it? No, it is too far. He's trying to find some kind of damage, and there it is. WX98 does go down. They are going to be able to clutch up the situation. Kakaishi in the 1 versus 3, there's nowhere to go. And YZG pick up another 2 kills. Moxie, this is massive.
GG though, hot on the heels. Unfortunately, not close enough to the fight to be able to interrupt it when the kills are potentially still there. And YZG, understanding that there was a team directly behind them, cut over towards Ballista Tower to utilize it as a deterrent. TXJ as well being able to keep himself alive. The team left all of the soul bombs of the eliminations that they were able to find for the Vipers, so that TXJ was instantly able to recover and keep this legendary fan in play. The only legendary weapon currently on the board that has been picked up either by YCG solving puzzle, or more than likely, given the location that we saw them drop from, TXJ parrying it out of a player's hands and getting his mitts on it that away. As we're going to be seeing the first realm of Yangs spawning on through. YZG, like you said, in a very good position to put themselves into that MVP position. 6 eliminations, but WBG not going to be making it easy for them. TE as well, also going to be splitting the eliminations between them to try and keep it out of the hands of YZG. For WBG, they do not want this round to be ended with a YZG win. They need it to continue into game number 8 if they want a chance of walking away with the bi-weekly titles. We're going to see YZG go into the Meteor Storm coming on through. Yes, they do a lot of damage if they hit you, but if you go into those baubles, you also get a lot of rage charge back, which is going to allow TXJ to come on through with that next V3, as well as getting to loot through all of the tropes that when a weather effect afflicts one of these areas in Holoroth, it refreshes all of the tropes in the area. So even if players drop there originally, you can go back and pick up loot that wasn't there previously.
Absolutely. And it's also very fortunate that that Spirit Well has Draco Storm attached to it. So they're going to be running around as Viper comp with Draco Storm, a massive buff for them to have if they're looking to snowball this game and secure that MVP. But we're heading over to this Realm of Yang. GG up against OUG 3-3-0, looking to get that grab, the jump into the grab to try and deny the Farrier mech, but unfortunately not able to do so. 3-3-0 now throwing out those hands, trying to distance himself from the Farrier. Does find one. Is he going to be able to get the slam? He does indeed before the turret form comes out. Breaks line of sight with the pillar as well. Going to be able to heal yet again, getting another slam. But oh my goodness, I don't think it's really going to matter. Jin Yu is down. The Farrier was too preoccupied with dealing with the Tianhai that wasn't able to peel for his teammate, and now it's just gone. It's an absolute shambles. GG are running this Yang, and it's already over. 1 versus 3. Even though he's got the fan to scale rush away, there is no shot he's making out of this one alive and kiting for an extra minute.
Yeah, GG gonna be getting their hands on Vermilion Bird's Might. At the same time, we saw in the kill feed YZG getting eliminations onto JL with the Draco Storm that they've been able to pick up from that Spirit Well. So both of the teams MVP eligible popping off at the beginning of this game of Holoroth. YZ also deep in the midst of another fight ongoing just outside of the Killer's Crest. We're gonna see TXJ with the fan scale rushes trying to set up all of that movement to puff out of the Syra damage coming in through from that V1. After the ultimate is done, YGG can move back in for the kill, trying to start things off with the Tesla ultimate, managing to find the connection onto that Cicada. As we can see, the peel attempted to come into the mix, but it's not going to be enough. Jin goes down, and YGG walking away with even more eliminations. They're about to hit 9 before we even see a second Realm of Yang spawn.
I mean, if they keep going at this pace, we might not, Moxie. It's 19 people are left alive right now. However, actually, no, wait. No, it's more than that. There's 9 people in soul form.
In soul form,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was going to say, this, that would be crazy. There's 29 people in total. 29 in total. 9 players currently in soul form, having not resurrected, having lost the Realm of Yang. They're still waiting to try and find an opportune moment to resurrect, find themselves a third-party angle, perhaps. We'll have to see. GG on the rotations, spot out YZG with that Draco. Decide it's not worthwhile and go the opposite direction. TE in Plumed Castle might find themselves a fight with YZG right here, but no, let's take a look over here at WBG chasing down SR Junks. No ultimate. Oh, wait a minute. We go from one fight to the next, and it's getting ugly over here. We got GG. Who are they even up? I can't. Up against Bowder. The grab comes through. LXM extremely low HP. The ultimate comes out. They do have the Vermilion Bird's-Mite for a while, but they want to get as many kills as possible.
Oh, there's one grab. And it's on the Syra too, so he's not even going to go for the slam. He's just going to hold it for as long as possible so that the V1 doesn't get to melt down the other players from the side of GG before going for that throw. Now he looks for another onto Sleepy T. Bartra State has been removed. Bowder could potentially answer on back, but the Kylan ultimate on the field is going to be making it increasingly difficult for them to be able to organize themselves. CJS does get put into the chokehold, and here comes YZG with the third party. TXJ spotted his little opportunity and comes on through with the Viper V3, and you can see body after body popping off those Vermilion Bird's-Mite wings as YZG pick up elimination after elimination. The scale rush up into the drop.
Oh my goodness!
The fan followed on up by the F2 silence. Oh my! If he'd been able to find that onto the Wu Chen, then that teleport would not have allowed TE to get out of dodge. As it is though, that beam up in the sky gives away the location of the teleport's distance. And YZG now track them down. Tesla ultimate is going to connect onto TXJ, as is the RMB from that staff. And it leads them directly into OA for chasing so aggressively onto TE. They almost fell prey to OA, but you saw the state that OA were in. They could not have the confidence to keep that fight going. They're there, they dissuade TXJ, and then they move swiftly on.
Oh my goodness, this is an absolute banger of a game. YZG, 15 eliminations! 15! We're at 16 and a half minutes left on the lobby, and this team has 15 kills. That's crazy. That's crazy. Unless, if they were to die now, unless a team actually beat that scoreline, they'd win, which is crazy. There's nothing even close to them. The next highest kills is 8. So that's 7 behind. That's absurd. That is actually crazy. YZG came to play. TXJ, the GOAT, he's fully locked in. He's turbo locked. Oh my goodness. What a game to watch. What a game to behold. GG also looking as though they're in a pretty decent spot. They've scaled up. They got value out of their Vermilion Bird's-Mite, but only on 4 eliminations. They're going to have to put in a bit more work if they want to catch up to YZG.
Oh no.
And,
that's another Draco Storm!
Inside a meteor shower as well, again.
Yeah, I mean,
did they input the cheat code in the... like, what's going on here?
Silver Lining, they're going to have to contest SS1, who did manage to get their hands on one of those legendary weapons, have been drawn in with the prospects of that Draco Storm coming on through. GG of the Tianhai, though, they want with this Transformers composition to go into a Realm of Yang fight so they can all in their ultimates without the worry of getting third-partied, especially because of the trauma probably that was induced by YCG dive-bombing into that fight and just absolutely cleaning up with the Viper V3 previously. Now they're going to have to go, head-to-head against SS1, the team that could have contested YZG on claiming that spirit. Well, yeah, everything's coming up YZG at the moment.
It really is. Then we're on the Realm of Yang here. GG up against SS1. 3-3-0 dropping down. Both Tianhai ultimates coming out. What's the frame one? The right click. He tries to jump away, but not able to do so. Not in time. The jump in doesn't deny the slam. 3-3-0 getting knocked back again. He's going to look for the jump in. Oh, he tries to find the grab first. CJS getting caught by the monk. He gets the slam back. Juan getting caught out mid-air. Insta slam. Drop down. Water now kiting away slightly. Looking for these grabs. 3-3-0 jumping in. Gonna look for the right click. Tries to hop over it, but does it too early. Juan now getting juggled by the Kylin. 3-3-0 and the opposing monk now out of ultimates. Water getting juggled by the Kylin. Forced to use that F. 3-3-0 does have advantage. Looking to try and chase down any of these players. The wind slash coming down from the air. The Water with a huge parry. LXM forced to try and kite back, looking for a reset, but he's going to be denied. The blades, the dual halberds coming in. SS1 lose a member. Water now in the along with his teammate in the 2 versus 3. A beautiful parry though. 3-3-0, no combo break. Gets cooked against the wall, and there it is. 2 versus 2 now. LXM coming in, trying to stay on the move. CJS having taken the time to heal up. Water getting fried by the focus attack. We do have the ultimate back online though, but that's going to leave his teammate all on their own. And now it's just a matter of time. Water, the lonely monk, nothing he can do unless GG just stop pressing shift. They should never lose this.
You might try and time it out. I mean, if he gets one grab, then he gets a heal off of that V2. And GG are very much aware of that one. We're down to 9 seconds. If Water can grief GG into having Yang depletion, that would be huge for YZG. They're investing. The look is out of Vajra. The Kylan dash just hits before the gate times out. And oh my goodness, GG are given a second in the round.
Oh my goodness. How close are they gonna cut it? This is crazy. They're on 7 kills though. 7. That's a good start.
I'm pretty sure Bowder though, or rather not Bowder, yeah, YZG I was gonna say, because the one team that was in the area SS1 who could have contested that spirit well and forced YZG into picking up early, they went into a Realm of Yang. They've literally just been camping the buff, so now they have it online chilling. When all of the teams with Vermilion Birds might, or not Vermilion Birds, like the Realm of Yang win, come out with their own Draco Storm, so YZG don't have to worry about theirs expiring before others in the lobby.
Yep. But I will say I would like to note that Bowder is now going up to 12 eliminations, and they have Draco Storm. They've got that. They got themselves that Realm of Yang win, and they might be contenders right now to stand up to YZG and their ridiculously fast-paced, huge kill game. But
they've got Syra too. Is the thing, like YZG don't have the means of winning heal off. GG do. They've got both the Tianhaya and the Kylan, who can use their ultimates to cheese the heal off situation. However, Bowder have Syra, which we've seen be much more effective in that situation.
Syra is good. That is definitely the case. But who knows? We do have TXJ is locked right now. He is locked in. If he secures those silences onto that Syra in those endgame situations, could deny it completely. That's the prowess of Viper. If she's able to make it to those endgame situations, she can be an absolute menace. Absolutely, but we'll see. I think their main objective is going to be to try and get as many more kills as they can, and I believe that's why they're scouting at the edge of the zone at the moment to try and pick up stragglers and not have to take a 3 versus 3 that's potentially third-partyable by the Yang depletion teams and the other Draco Storm. As we can see right here, 3 versus 3, this team has Yang depletion along with the opposing team. Both teams have Yang depletion. They need to fight, and that's why it's happening.
Yeah,
look,
here's
GG with the third party. Yep.
They can sense blood in the water. They're looking for elimination so they can match wits with YZG's absolute bank that team is sitting on. YZG found another straggler themselves too, so they go up to 17 now. A 20 bomb potentially before we even see the next spirit well would be an insane way to end the day, as 430 still has this Tianhai ultimate, goes into the zone looking to land these last hits. So even if these players die to the zone damage, GG still get to claim the elimination. OG Jinyu forced into burning that Yodo V3, having to just utilize the teleports from the Sword Slashes to navigate his way into the zone, plus towards the Farrier mech drop coming on through, and he'll utilize those boosters to clamber his way up that cliffside. But the longer this fight goes on, the more likely it is that YGG starts showing up on that mini-map too. And then, Dunk, we have all teams left in this lobby converging in one very small space with a Thorny roller, very much the Chekhov's gun of this situation.
I think I can see it happening. I can feel it. I think YZG's on their way right now. They've been rotating around, and they're gonna be pretty close by this point. If they've continued along the pace, they should be close, unless they cut across the safe zone and went the complete opposite direction. But I doubt that that's the case. We'll see in a second. GG. They're still rotating. They're still gaming. Bowder, they managed to. He's just playing. Jing's having a great time right now.
Dragon Lake, mate. Come on.
Zem's just looking up like, what are you guys doing? You guys, what are you doing?
He was charging up Dragon's Roar. He was doing the exact same thing. He was charging up the first frame of the meter dump, as we can see that YZG have shown up on the scene, and it's looking a little bit criminal right now. TXJ coming on through with that Viper V threatening out the space. They've been able to find another elimination onto players of OUG. They've spotted out the lone Jin Yu, who is going to get absolutely melted. Committed that Viper V3. It's the Phoenix Blast coming up from QGG's longsword. Do they check the bush? Oh, the F2 does not hit Baby U, but they do spot out the player, and now the hunt is on. YZG 17 eliminations and counting. It's going to be up to Bowder to put a stop to this team and make sure we go to game 8.
I'm not gonna lie, Moxie. I don't think that's happening. YZG 17, and they're not slowing down. Baby U is next on the chopping block, and there it is. They pick up their 18th elimination. 18. Bowder are in a good position though. They have been waiting to take this Draco Storm Spirit Well, so they could roll up and just, you know, they could just cut them down and then overtake them in kills and get to endgame. However, as we saw earlier in game number 1, a team with Draco is not invulnerable. It's funny that TXJ, YZG actually were the example of that. They had Draco Storm and it all fell apart for them. And right now, this is sus G to me right now. They're taking this fight at the edge of the zone. GG is not looking too happy about the situation. Bowder came in, forced out the ultimates, but they're looking to continue chasing. Where's YZG? Nowhere near this point. They are chilling on the other side, waiting, biding their time. That's exactly what they should be doing.
Well, GG are given grace in the form of a meteor storm so they can get those ultimates back. Peripherio is going to need that Vajra state if this team wants to be able to live, because Bowder is still very much in this fight. Peripherio goes in with the F1 trying to cover for his teammates, but he's not able to pick up the baubles, which means he's not getting his ultimate. The Halbert's coming through the Iron Beast, but the Furin shoves displace the Tien Hai, and he has to be careful that he doesn't go into the Bane's Breath AoEs at the same time. Peripherio is schmoving, trying to grab every single bauble he possibly can to get this Titan state back into table. As we can see that off of the front of that Moonbane, actually, GG have been able to cut it between themselves and Bowder. As we can have a look and see what YZG is up to off on the other side of that wall. YZG and GG so close to each other. Bowder also directly in between them. Both of these teams could honestly, with the amount of players still left in this lobby and that kill score multiplier, claim the MVP. Granted, the stakes are a little bit higher for GG and YZG, but Bowder could very much grief out an MVP win for either team.
They could indeed, but I will say that YZG's playing this very well. Calm and collected. They're not pushing the issue because of the fact that they got so many kills early. They don't need to keep getting kills. They just need to survive. They might be able to come in at an opportune moment and third party their Spirit Well situation, but again, it is still risky. If they do so and then it goes wrong, that's it. It could very easily be over. And considering that Bowder and GG are both willing to contest this, those are the teams that they need to be watching out for. OA is the other full team that's currently left alive, and then a singular player on the side of WBG, a lone Syra, who's probably hiding in a bush somewhere, gonna try and stay as inconspicuous as possible. But why is it They do this. They're not sticking around. I think they're going in, testing the waters, and they're checking how charged up it is, and then disengaging. They're gonna keep coming in and out. Yeah, they're getting everyone's blood boiling. You know, ooh, get in there. You deny it? Yes. Do it. Use more abilities. We will come for you in a moment. The GGCGS pulling the trigger on the Kylan ultimate, but the Tumult ult is there to slow him down, literally. OA coming into the mix. Oh my goodness, the benthic descent catching CJS. He's still invulnerable. He's not going to die just yet, but that is a very spooky. TXJ going in, taking full advantage of it. XCM goes down. Oh my goodness, Bowder, they've been cut down at the knees.
TXJ with a huge Viper V3 silences the entire lobby. TXJ is falling lower and lower and lower. That Wuchen teleport is going to be much harder to pull off safely, and we can actually see that OA picked up the Spirit Well, which means they have Draco Storm. And worst case scenario, GG and Bino were both the team's closest, and they're bleeding players. YZG with a very wise disengage before OA capped are out of the source of danger for the most part, and will be able to break away as things die down. GG down. One player are going to get spotted on IPP.
No.
Comes on for the horizontal swing of that pulse sword, clearing out the invis bush. YZG also waiting for their opportunity to come in for the third party and steal away these kills. Free with sliver of HP manages to pull the V2 just at the right moment, and we'll be able to find one grab, but the wind walls from the Wuchen blocking the potential grabs coming on out from that Tian High, and he's not able to find anything. Does get a grab onto CX. He doesn't manage to complete the slam. His health bar going lower and lower. He doesn't have a teammate to be able to cover for him, and YZG just might have this in the bag. Dunk. It's gonna be a cherry on top. The Viper V3 looking to finish things out. They hit the 20 bomb, and this is just the curtain call for YZG. They just have to stick the landing, but that Sire ultimate is beaming.
It's over, Moxie. They played this like actual gods. This is probably the best played game by a specific team I have seen in a very long time. It doesn't matter they didn't get first. They win for sure. This is guaranteed MVP. 21. There it is. YZG. TXJ leading them. Absolutely goated.
Take a
Let's congratulations 2025 Spring Split, the first championship of bi-weekly final. YZG